So, despite how eventful last session was, not a lot to recap. You continued your combat in Old Rest, defeating the remaining allies of Sarvith. Some Ettins, some sort of hobgoblin cultist who really wreaked havoc on your party, despite not doing a ton of damage apart from to one of you. And after having defeated the creatures, you did some exploring of the ruins and found some very interesting things. Dragon's Hoard is nothing to scoff at, of course. But you also found and somehow managed to identify what appears to be some sort of soul cage holding the soul of a very powerful undead druid. A lich of sorts. You, I think, discussed briefly what you might intend to do after this. But I think we ended before we really made any headway in that regard. So before we get to the part where you guys decide what you want to do next, what would you like to do for nominations? Nom.
I would like to nominate. I'd like to nominate Tor because I really love that. The idea of just like freezing over the entire hatchery, making it completely like instead of having to like hope that we got to all the eggs, it's like no, all these eggs are goners, and this room is now completely unusable, like permanently, even if someone were to come back. So I thought that was
that drastically increased your kill count. We don't have the stats for it, but it drastically increased your kill count.
Like it might have established my kill count.
It's like the time I firebolted a barrel full of
monkeys.
Illithid tadpoles and it exploded.
I would,
that was the most kills I've ever gotten with a single spell.
I would also nominate Runar for... We would not know nearly as much about the Ghost Lord or the significance. Mm-hmm. Actually, we wouldn't even have like a substantial plan for potentially preventing this entity from being part of the assault if we didn't have this information. So I'd nominate Runar for that.
I would nominate Redrick for hanging on.
I partly thought the same thing, but at the same time I was like, I don't know that he did that much for it.
Yeah.
I think we.
It was a real team effort.
It was subtle, but I would also nominate Rex because I kind of wonder how much stuff we would have found if Rex wasn't looking for it. There were like 3 loot hoards that were very important to find all of. And like I just wonder, what if we don't find the phylactery without it? What if we don't know what the phylactery is without it? Because like we don't find the box with the note, and I suspect the box with the note was like
the harder piece to find.
Yeah, there was a piece. There was something in there where I thought to myself like,
what would we do if we wouldn't have done
that? Yeah, if we wouldn't have found
it. We just
this.
accidentally sell the necklace for 100 gold somewhere.
Oh, man.
I would have really enjoyed that, I'll be honest.
The quest.
I'm just imagining like buying a necklace and somehow being on like a Lich's shit list.
Yeah. Or maybe that's like just the Lich's strategy is like everlasting life through obscurity. It's just like you're in some royal's like jewelry collection, like vault.
Or just like some farmer's family heirloom.
Yeah.
I mean that's
some gangly creature lives with it in the woods by himself for
there you go.
60 years.
Yeah, there it is.
That's a Malazan strategy though. Like, what's your phylactery? It's one of those pebbles in that river over there. Good luck.
Yeah.
I've got a bulletproof shield.
I
the
blew
exact
up
size
the
of a
river.
bullet somewhere in my body. So go ahead, take your shot.
I'm really gonna have a tough time choosing, so I'm going to
Kill us.
roll for it. We're gonna do double today.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the first nomination and the third nomination. So, first nomination was Tor. Second nomination or third nomination was Rex.
Okay.
And we will begin there. You all stand in this obliterated, rundown tower in the middle of the lake. Really, the last thing you've noticed as you look around, having collected items, having looted this place, having inspected the bodies, is that at some point, all the lizard folk seem to have noticed that their god fled and have also likewise fled. You can see them packing up their settlements on the shore and fleeing the lake.
So, one thing I realized is the letter was signed by Ulwai, right?
Yes.
And Ulwai is one of the big four.
One of the generals.
Yeah. That had perfume on it, you said?
Yes.
Sarva's girlfriend, I guess.
Ulwai.
Oh yeah. Well, remember that time Koth died?
Koth,
It was a good day.
Ulwai, Hravik, and Sarva.
I want to take a trophy from the swamp guy that we killed, and one of the a fragment of the egg, just to bring to the Starsong, just prove that, hey, look, we took out.
You did break one of the eggs, so you have parts of it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking take the egg just so that we have evidence of, hey, this is what was going on here, and we didn't just show up there and leave, and then I don't know, take cut a tooth off from the swamp fiend, something like that.
Yeah.
We could just cut its head off.
I just know how big the head is.
It's a large
Bring back
creature.
The head of every creature, including the egg.
Bring back the ears.
4 of them from the head.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
They don't need to know that.
I'll stick with the tooth.
There's this really great piece of art. I'm going to share it in the chat.
It has a poison or an acid breath weapon, right?
Yes.
I would like to try to harvest this creature to extract its poison gland.
Okay.
Cast guidance on him.
There's
What,
also a bunch
what,
preserved in the refrigerator that I made.
what are you going to use?
I would love to use my skills in nature or survival for this.
Survival sounds like
Or medicine, because
that also sounds.
I am doctor.
I would say survival or medicine would be my preference.
Okay. Let me put myself back at level 6 so that my numbers are not wrong.
They gave this great art in the book for the dragon. It doesn't really match how the dragon is described in the book, but the art is good. But the thing is, there's no way for me to share this art with you before you've already fought it, because I feel like it gives away too much about what it's capable of.
Oh.
And so I was just like, well, that kind of sucks.
You give me a +1.
Yes.
Sweet. You said survival or nature?
Yes, survival
Medicine.
or medicine.
It's gonna be a cool 15. Medicine.
Okay. You...
Yowza. Oh, that poor guy.
I know,
His
right?
spine.
And
For
his
now.
forearm.
Yeah.
Oh, like even coming out of the pit and everything.
Yeah. He's a small little dragon.
Yeah, he's really small in here. I don't know why.
He's also a coward.
Also that.
More so that.
I don't know
even.
that.
You find the
He's descendant.
acid glands, but you're unable to. You're unable to get them out of the creature. You feel like if you would have pressed it, you probably would have destroyed them. It's just a little bit too sensitive an operation for you to pull off.
Fair enough. Alright. That's it. That's what I tried.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Well, you guys are hanging out at this point. Swamp's just as loud as it's always been, just with a lot less lot less sounds of combat and the yells of ogres and hobgoblins. More birds and insects now, like it should be.
It's still fairly early in the day, right?
Yeah, I mean, you only spent probably less than an hour in actual combat, like overall. So, yeah, it's really not too late at all. It's probably not even noon yet.
Did we open that lockbox that was in the tower, the original bell tower, at the end of one of the beds?
I remember mentioning it after that session, and I think we forgot about it the following week.
Well,
Could be.
we fought a dragon in
Right.
that tower, so it's completely fair. I mean, well, we have to go back that way effectively to get back to the shore.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So you guys are going back to the taking the boat back to the bell tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't think there's any reason for us to be over here now.
Because we went fully through the
Mhm.
Yep.
this tower.
I even swam down a hole and found 2 potions.
Ah, yes, the 2 equally unidentified potions.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to be tomorrow.
I got a shot at both of them.
Well, the lockbox is where you left it. It's still locked.
I will undo that.
Give it a shot.
I will not.
Is that a nat one?
It is a 1, which is a
It's
total
okay, you get advantage on your neck. Oh.
of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too well locked for you, unfortunately.
Might I
Yeah.
look?
I just back up.
Guidance.
I'm so glad that it wasn't. Even though the comedy factor of a double nat 1 is
27.
great, best not that.
It was a triple nat one. I just had mine together.
That definitely pops open for you.
I open it.
The box is almost looks like a poker set, like a poker set. Like it's like a wide flat box, if that makes sense.
Like a fireplace poker set?
Like a
Poker card set.
poker card set.
Okay.
And
I genuinely wasn't sure because you said wide flat, so I thought like fireplace
Ah,
pokers
yes.
could also.
so as you open it, there are lines of coins set up
Love it.
in much the same way. There are not nearly as many as you found from the dragon, but it's not bad for a hobgoblin. 200 silver pieces set up in neat rows. You can tell that they've been sort of fawned over and polished and stuff. They look really shiny. And it's clear there are like more rows to fill, but where there are no coins, there are little vials of liquid wrapped in cloth that are sent into the divots. Clearly 2 potions. They do not look the same though.
2 more potions.
Davian, care to take a look at potions?
Yeah, I will start with a read aura on everything that came out of that box. Or I guess
For-
not all of the money, but the,
Caleb.
'cause
For
I-
the bonus?
You didn't add any
yeah.
pocket change.
Hell yeah.
And then also it will
From the stuff
tell
that we
me
found.
if any of that stuff is
So you
magical.
didn't add any pocket change.
Yeah.
yet.
So both the potions are magical.
I added all the coins.
No, to your.
Does it tell you anything else that,
Individual.
that I need to
Right.
share?
How much did you want to put in? Like, how much did you want to have?
I'll just take like
No.
Okay.
I just get to know if it's magical or not.
Okay. Definitely both
Right, that'd be a
magical.
huge deal, but I was gonna say just
Yeah.
just
then I will
subtract it and put it.
attempt to identify.
We'll just say that when I found the 32 and the, you'll have to subtract it from the
My
sheet.
last
So when I
3
found that
attempts to
32 in
identify,
the
I rolled
surgery,
2s.
Ugh.
just 20 from that.
So this is a 19.
Not enough to identify either of the potions. Or I guess the first potion.
Potion number 2.
Said they were different.
That should be good.
30 total.
Okay, much, much better.
Turns out when you roll not a 2, the final number looks okay.
That's the trick.
Mhm. Sorry,
you-
wait. 29. I'm not actually leveled up yet in this moment.
29's still enough.
Okay.
Still enough. It's not that high level an item, but it's still clearly an interesting item. You gather that the magical or the arcane energy in this potion, if quaffed, would grant you haste.
Wow. Potion of
Not
haste.
so fast.
1 minute of haste from this potion, should you drink it.
Dope.
Probably would have helped him if he had it on his person when you were fighting him.
That's true.
Less good in a lockbox. Speaking of, Wind Ocarina, Grim Trophy, Boots of Bounding, Horn of Fog. Do we want to start handing some of these out? I know, especially like Horn of Fog, Wind Ocarina, Grim Trophy. These aren't things that we're like we have a keen strategy for, but if someone has them, then we at least might think to use them in combat.
Grim Trophy doesn't provide any combat bonus, right? Well, I guess
It's a
Yeah.
consumable in combat.
Got it.
Oh, just for clarification, because this screwed me up when I was looking it up earlier. The haste potion is called the Potion of Quickness, if you want to find it. So
Okay.
Allow me to rename.
I think that potion of haste goes to either Redrick or Rex. Just feels intuitive.
You can give it to Rex.
Okey-dokey.
That's fair, especially since I feel like we're probably leaning towards boots for
Yeah.
Redrick.
Is anyone good at intimidating?
Not terrible. Well, I mean,
I'm pretty good at it.
You should take
no
it.
good.
Then.
You have to wear it, by the way. It's affixed to you.
You should take it, and it's good for a one shot. Yeah.
I'll pin it on.
cool.
If I have to wear it, that's fine. You know.
I don't think it has to be visible, but it has to be affixed to your armor, I believe.
Okay.
Usage affixed to armor.
Who wants the Wind Ocarina?
What's that one do?
Doesn't it require performance check?
No.
Nope. What do?
You could play it as an instrument, but it's a
For 1 minute.
it just gives you a
Sets up a 5-foot emanation around you. Okay, so ranged attacks can't pass through it. Difficult terrain for any creatures attempting to move through it, which would have.
it's also a consumable.
Oh, this would have actually been great for a setup in the dragon
Oh,
fight.
it's a Yeah, it would have. It's a consumable.
Oh, it is.
Once
oh,
it's
yeah.
used. Doctor, I mean, non-magical virtuoso. I feel like.
Virtuoso has just a +1 to all your performance checks, I believe.
I feel like. This is either like a Tor or Runar angle.
I'll give it to Runar because I feel like I have stuff that can.
Yeah, it'd be duplicative for you.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a lot of good. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff against.
Right.
You know, if we're fighting a ranged enemy that might have a flying ally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Alright, so we'll give that to Runar. Boots of Bounding, do we want to give that to Rhetoric?
Yeah.
Zach, Horn of Fog, is that actually called Horn of Fog?
I believe so.
'Cause I couldn't find it.
I will.
Just sort of far for me.
I will.
Remastered version called Cloud Pouch.
Cloud Pouch. Oh, that's why, okay. I searched Horn of Fog and that didn't pop up as a title, so I
Ah.
Cloud Pouch.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did not realize.
Yeah, once a day you get the Mist spell. Which is good because it makes
Oh, that's
all the-
actually really good though. So you can, now the new version's cooler because you can sustain it and you can make it move. So we could be a grassy knoll of mist with all of us obscured in the mist moving together.
Cloud pouch.
It's pretty good. That's pretty neat.
Though,
That feels like your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Sure,
I was
it's
gonna
gonna
say
take
it's, and you and I are the ones
utility, water, and stealth all at the same
yeah,
time.
as a you and I are the ones that probably have free hands as well for combat and like.
That's true.
So,
I
like,
think-
Similarly to Potion of Healing, could a Potion of
Sturdy
Quickness be
shields
like
are
on
really
a like? Because I have the medicine, the healer's toolkit on the like bandolier / belt, or does that need to be in a backpack?
I think there's an item for.
Potions and
For
putting them
potions,
into
yeah.
convenient placement.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yes.
Okay. I need to move my designation for my healing potion then.
I mean, I can also take a crack at one of those magic items that you didn't identify now if we want to spend 10 minutes. You guys want to, if you guys want to wait.
Might
Not
be,
here.
might be better to just head back to our guides.
But
And
what if they come back and then we can just kill them?
I haven't slept yet. I have no spells still.
I mean, if you want to wait, I don't know that they're coming back though.
No, it's okay. I could use a nap.
We could wait. They're gonna come back. They didn't leave. There's no way that they just leave that.
Phylactery.
Yeah, that.
Soul Cage.
Sure.
Arcade. Arcade.
Yeah, the phallic thing.
Phylactery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one in
It looks a lot more like a necklace than
Makes
what I
too many
expected.
penises.
Honestly, there's no way they leave that without coming back for it.
Well, yesterday I would have said there's no way a dragon would turn tail and run. But it surprised me if we don't see them again.
I suppose it's a question of what do we want to do? Do we want to rest in there and wait and see if they come back, or
All we can do is rest in there.
yep,
That's what we're resting.
yep, I got you.
That was funny.
I don't like our chances of.
Look, if the
Seeing-
dragon is coming back after running away, it's not going to come back on its own.
Yeah, I know it had a rider.
There
They-
might be a second.
They also
Named
flew.
Winona.
They also flew in the direction of where the main force of the army was.
Mhm.
So, yeah, probably best to not linger.
So we might have a brief time in what was their hideout, their base. Before we leave, any good ideas for how to, if they come back to retake their base, any good ideas for how to greet them if we're not here?
Ooh, that's fun.
I think the sight of their frozen eggs might be the best greeting you could have given
Well,
them.
I'm assuming Tor means more of a painful, unfriendly greeting.
I just feel if we're here, we have some time. They probably won't be back in the hour. Maybe not till tonight, when the dragon can see better than we can.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's kind of like my thing.
The collective,
Yeah.
the collective we. Redrick nods. Yes, yes, I agree, Tor. Whatever you say, Tor.
You're so intelligent.
It's so handsome. Oh, stop.
I'd like to give you all my share of the treasure.
Here, you take the armor, you take the full plate.
Sell it, I don't care.
Throw it in a river, whatever.
Right on the door to the nest area. Iced babies, too cold.
Well, I know that I don't know mechanically what Redrick can do specifically. I know he can rig stuff.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of.
You can ring the bell to fall.
Oh, that would be
Can do that. Rig the bell to fall if something comes in either up the stairs or through the door.
Could we?
Probably have to invest 50 feet of rope for that, at least.
I do wonder about like.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It's a ruin, right? So I just wonder if there's like some like structural damage we could do to maybe.
Well, I'm sure we
Finish
can
the
do
job.
that.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I don't think I have anything that could serve as an explosive for them to land back in his horde and have a bad time.
Are there any other like buildings tall enough for us to like access or explore? This is pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. The rest of it's underwater. We'll come back tomorrow when I can cast water breathing twice.
I cast
Not
hold-
today though.
I cast
If we could
hold
shape
my
this
breath.
foot stone, maybe in a 10-foot section.
Such a
Would be
powerful
very
spell.
useful.
That sounds incredible.
It
It allows me to not breathe for an extended period of time.
Good ideas.
Yeah, as if
It
we
just
don't.
seems like there should be something.
It's a good chance they won't even be back.
It's a good base. They surrounded by water. They can fly over it. It was hard for us to get to.
I mean, was it?
I don't know. You were the one floating in a river, in a lake.
Yep.
And I enjoyed every second of it.
Well, if nothing else, we could ruin their bell. Cut it off. No more warnings.
That's true.
Alright.
Redrick likes the rigging it plan, I think.
Okay.
It's just so that the doors to that tower are closed, and when they're open, the bell just drops.
That poor lizard person.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think that's probably a thievery. Yeah, thievery. Disable device check.
Enable
I'll try
device.
that because I'm a smarty pants.
To make it fall.
Yes, to make it fall.
Can I aid him?
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess also with thievery?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
I'd say
Roger goes up and
Or
rigs the
crafting.
rope to the bell, so it's all that's ready to go, and then
thievery, crafting, or if you have like a knowledge of engineering or something, that would also definitely work.
Okay. I'll do crafting. That's a crit. So you get a +2.
dope.
Whew.
19 plus 13 for 32. 34.
Wow, this was not an easy task, but I think I think
Wasn't
you
it?
do it. Yeah, I think you managed to rig it up just right. It's precarious,
Right.
Oh yeah.
and you definitely don't want to stick around, but
Yeah.
you're fairly confident in your ability. I will say one of you has to consume a rope to make this work. But apart from that,
Rope.
Stop!
I'm so full.
Seems like overkill, Tor.
just Kobayashi it over
I
here.
have contributed my rope.
Okay, yeah. You
So long, birth rope.
you like everyone kind of sees you like slowly back out of the doors and like latch them, and then you're just like, okay, we should leave.
Alright.
You're pretty sure, unless whatever opens these doors is like as big as that dragon or larger, you're pretty sure when this thing lands, you're going to hear it for miles and miles around.
That's a log drop.
Yeah.
For a
That's
bell.
all I want. This is worth a rope.
So you're gonna know. You're gonna know when this thing drops.
Okay. I think we.
Actually, that's an unintended excellent benefit.
Yeah.
Can you leave one of your riders up here and just listen for a huge ding? Or a dong, whatever.
Yeah,
Who
true.
knows how the bell falls?
That does give me an idea.
Oh, no longer tracking Mr. Lion of Brindle. Instead, track a bell.
I don't think a bell, but is there something we could leave that there'd be
That they would want.
that there would be a good chance that they would take?
The fl-
Oh, man.
Oh no.
Do we like
we could leave the.
just leave
note.
them a note?
We could leave. Oh wait, we probably don't want to leave the evidence
What?
note that we would want to use as, "Hey, this is happening up north."
Do we have anything that they would think we were fools for leaving behind, like we accidentally left something?
Aside from the rope.
It's good birth rope. Yeah, something that would be like, I don't know, something that where they would see it and think, oh, they dropped this. Those
Could leave
fools.
it.
And like they take it as kind of their like token of vengeance almost.
Could leave a gold coin. I wouldn't leave a gold coin lying around.
We just took a dragon's horde.
And I could have used a cantrip to less accurately determine how many coins there are than what Zach told us. You can approximate. It's
That's
like,
true.
Oh, if there's 180, it'll say there's about 200.
Oh, I saw that.
Such
yeah.
a weird cantrip.
It's so strange.
We could leave Shadow Steel.
True.
We could leave the ring of energy resistant to acid as a
Oh.
huge flex because we don't need acid resistance anymore.
That
The dragon puts it on.
Yeah.
that's a good flex.
It's an enormous waste of an item, but it's a huge flex.
I can't think of anything that I would want us to leave, but
No.
What? We'll try this.
Excuse me.
I will. How if I stake a note into this door by the dagger, what are the chances that it'll drop the bell that is currently rigged up to it?
Well, as long as you do it under his supervision, there's no chance.
Okay. Leave a note. Because you always leave a note. We leave a note that says, what is good? You seem like you're good at writing
I'm definitely not good at
aggressive, taunting messages.
I mean, I am good at speaking aggressive, taunting.
What
messages.
would you say? Something like come find us when you're next ready. Some challenge to them. Call him coward.
Mm.
The red hand better take those mittens off.
I feel like that might be too subtle. Plus, what do you have against mittens? I can do lots of damage with mittens.
They're quite functional as well.
Make leather, they're basically boxer
The red
red.
hand is about to get gloved.
Please stop.
I'm spitballing ideas.
We have your
Ideas
phallic
here.
factory, come get it.
That's gonna be confusing.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. That's what alright. I take my dagger. I will I'll put a sigil with my ring on the dagger. Stake it. Stake the note into the door, and maybe they think I'm gonna take this dagger and I will stab them with it. Aha! I'm so clever. But I track the dagger.
That's optimistic.
This is my current thought.
This is optimistic. I agree. I think they're more likely to take the note than the dagger.
I
But,
think.
I mean, the dagger's like a silver piece or something.
Yeah,
to
but
buy.
it's.
I look at it, but it's just it's just a dagger. It's not special.
I
Like
could write on the note in Draconic.
Please don't take the dagger.
Good old reverse draconic psychology.
Oh, you know what? I'll really keep them guessing. I'll write it in Orcish.
actually, I'll add something. To
What does this mysterious ancient script mean? I don't know. Find one of our finest scholars.
I'll add something to his note. I'll write it in diabolic, and it'll just say, "I look forward to my multicolored dragon head collection."
Mmm.
Very nice.
I put it in diabolic in hopes that a dragon does not speak diabolic and decides, I must take this note to my leader, who speaks diabolic. Orcish.
So you think track the note?
Yeah.
I will track the note then.
It also in small text, also in diabolic, whatever the equivalent is, says, "You're a little bitch worm," and that's it. Something like very juvenile, whatever the most like juvenile thing you can think of.
Does the pun work between languages? Like, is it worm and worm?
It doesn't matter.
No, just super little. You are a bitch worm. But
Yeah.
like, not worm like dragon, worm like worm. Just
Yes.
Amazing.
Well, exactly. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. 100%.
What does that say?
Something to the effect of, "You're a little bitch worm."
Does the translation work well in? Would I recognize what language that is when he writes it?
Probably not if you don't have it on your
Yeah.
list. It would look pretty strange to you.
It's an
My-
Pestalore.
Whatever language that
Everything
is.
I've written.
I'm pretty confident that whoever reads this is either going to be very angry by the statement or very angry by the butchering of their language.
So the
Can't lose.
the sigil, I actually like make an icon. I'm gonna put a green foot on the bottom.
Just trying to stay on theme here.
Hard counters red hand.
The flanges of doom.
We can work on a name later, but for now this seems fine.
Sure.
Not as catchy.
That's the right
The green feet of hope.
Would have sounded great in our native tongue.
He's right.
Yeah, it sucks in translation, but what are you gonna
Some
do?
things get lost in translation.
That's right. Poetry's poetry, you know.
We'll get on the raft and
Can we all get on the raft?
Yeah.
Okay.
I read it.
Swell.
What stronghold do you keep your rings of wizardry at? I would like to storm that one next, please.
Oh, you will have to have I forget what Redrick's
He's in the
Mount.
Pokeballs.
Oh, he
He's
is?
in the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was
Which, if we hit anywhere near whatever that time limit is,
Yes.
let it out, let it back in to keep it
8
from
hours.
suffocating. Oh, it's 8. I was thinking it was 1.
Yeah, no,
It's not
He's
that-
got plenty of time
Cool.
yet.
It's
Yeah.
not that long back to Starsong Hill, right? It's like 4 or 5 hours, I thought, something like that.
If our guides are
If our
readily
guides are there.
accessible,
Yeah,
let me
I wanna
see
say-
how long it actually was.
I can't remember off the top of my head how long it
It
was.
was the better part of a day.
It was longer than I expected. I think it's just slow going in the swamps is all.
Right. Well, we'll head back to the guides if you guys are all okay with that.
Yep.
Well, you head back to your camp, and then from there you're able to backtrack pretty easily, especially now that the rain has stopped. To where you were left on the shores, and after some shouting and search, and you do find your guides. They look, I think, unsurprised to see you. They look surprised when you tell them what you've accomplished. Because at this point you've healed yourselves, right? None of you are like out there bleeding in their
We
canoes.
were covered in bloodstains, probably, but
But you're also in the water all the time too, so.
like faded bloodstains.
Do you guys ride on top of the boat or underneath it on the way back?
Stay on top of it.
Oh, so you'd prefer to be on top of the boat then? Interesting.
The elves have a lot of questions for you. You can tell that they're trying not to. They're trying not to show their excitement, so they keep their questions like very terse, and they don't make eye contact. They kind of make it out to feel like they're a little bit. They're focused on their role, which is to get you to and from.
But they're hiding it poorly.
Yeah, they're really curious. You can tell.
Don't think
I would have wanted to try to bring the head of the swamp thing if it wasn't going to be too much.
Fiend.
Yeah, it's probably like 2 or 3 bulk at least, but
I am
There's
encumbered.
there's no reason you
which is
couldn't bring it
probably
back.
fine 'cause we're on rafts.
Yeah.
So
I
do
would have
this.
also said before we came, don't bring up this soul cage to anyone. Understand? This is a artifact. We don't need more people knowing about this.
One phylactery, and I stash it in my sleeve.
Why already have it in the box?
In
And
the
the-
bag.
The original box in the bag of holding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not letting that out. Not letting that out of my possession.
Did we ever double check that the box was not magical?
Yeah,
I think it was
he
just-
had checked
It
for
didn't
magic.
It was
It
just
was
a
a-
really nice box.
Yes, it's worth gold if you want to sell the box. It was not magical.
But yeah, I just want to make sure because there's no way I would have.
50,
I didn't think nobody
50
told
gold
these
box.
guys, "Oh, hey, we found a soul cage," and I don't want the wrong person hearing that.
One phylactery.
But
Do any of you know anything about magics to track items? Is there any concern that this may be sought after magically?
If it's sought after magically, I think the thing that soul is contained within it is probably the best at tracking it. And if he didn't track it to here, or it didn't track it to here, it's probably okay.
Alright, Zach, arcane physics question check.
Cool.
Would I know that it being in an extra dimensional space would render it effectively untraceable by at least conventional magic? Because it's technically not on this plane at the moment, right? Or,
You suspect that a powerful enough spellcaster may be able to determine that it is in an extra dimensional space because they might be able to track it to that plane. a truly extraordinarily powerful creature could travel to the other plane and then find it.
You said those words, and then in my head I'm like, oh my god, an extra dimensional pickpocket sounds just incredible.
So cool.
Incredible.
I'm now imagining like a lich peeking its head out of your sleeve, just like, "Did you take my stuff?"
It would be sort of like if you picked a random spot on the bottom of the ocean
To hide something.
and you hid your stuff there. It's like, yeah, someone else could find
In
it.
theory, but it's like
Yeah.
it's basically impossible.
But it's probably much. I mean, I would imagine the plane is much bigger even than that. So, yeah. But if there was magic that could point them in the right direction, they could eventually find it. But yeah, you suspect that would at least prevent them from finding where you are in this plane.
I relay that sentiment to you to relieve your worries.
Would he also have any sort of inkling of... I mean, we found this thing just laying there. Would he, as a mage adept, be able to surmise of whether a caster as powerful as this lich, given that this item is an 11th level item? Was that what it came to? I think it was.
We
like
did
that.
not establish. Well,
Is
we
something
established
of-
a minimum
of a
level, but didn't actually successfully identify it. I'll try
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
Yeah, so based off of that, would he know that a powerful caster of that sort should have been able to track this item to where we found it?
Why don't you give me a core magic check? So like whatever your primary check is, Arcana, religion, occultism,
Okay.
nature. Yeah, if you're talking about this collectively. Is that a 2?
Nat 20 occultism. Yes.
You think it
You know nothing about these liches. He knows
It's
everything.
it is an occultism like based thing.
you think it's going to rely almost entirely on the discipline of the spellcaster. As they are a druid, you have no idea.
Makes sense.
Too different from your specialty to know for sure.
Would that be nature? He's looking,
Yes.
um,
If nature is your primary spellcasting ability.
Well, I'll tell you what.
y-
I don't have one.
Yes, so I will think about it then.
How did you think?
But that's not your primary. You don't have a primary spellcasting thing, though, right?
I
He's
do.
primal.
It's primal nature.
I mean,
Is
that
that like your second subclass thing, or?
No, it's like you get it. I think kineticists get nature just for being kineticists.
I am confident that on our trip back we will find
Yes,
a druid
nature.
at the
20.
Starsong Hill.
But anyway, it's
20 total.
Yeah,
And we can just ask, hey,
not actually that great
It's
at
kind of a
nature
moot
checks,
point.
but
can
I
you
do.
can find
track
us.
this?
It is my thing.
You think it is very unlikely. With what little you can recall about powerful nature spells, you can't think of really anything that would allow a creature to find it easily.
Cool.
But
That just confirms basically the suspicion.
But would my occultism and arcana friends suspect that their respective disciplines would have?
I think you would suspect that it's likely possible, like for magics to be woven in a way to accomplish this task. You cannot think of anything specifically that would accomplish it.
I mean, I have a ring that points me to a thing that I am looking for. I just my ring is blocked by
Excuse me.
Paper bag. Officer, you don't know what's in here.
I do think it's a little bit of a
I
moot point
cannot-
though, because if he finds us, I mean, what? I don't think there's anything we can do
I
besides
think
Well,
it's
I'm
less
less
about
worried
him
about
finding
him
us
or
and
somebody else.
more of red hand
yeah, like
agents.
yeah, if they just have
a bead on us. Yeah.
Right.
We're
So
taking
like my
enemies.
ring is blocked by like substantial bodies of water. It's blocked by enough distance away, but I
What
don't
is-
know what
Which ring do you have?
the ring of sigils that Pathbuilder will not let me click on.
Oh,
So it's the thing where I add a sigil to something, and then I can track that thing. And that's what I did. That's what I did to the note. So I can once every 10 minutes detect the general direction, just the general direction towards the most recent sigil I created using the ring.
okay.
But it fails if it's more than 5 miles away or there's lead or running water between me and the sigil.
So
The sigil that we place is completely useless.
Running water.
something that you
Baby.
want to keep in mind as well is that, and I think you would have thought of this as well with your sort of pondering on this topic, is that,
It's not like GPS accurate.
well, no, that's true. That's true also. But you consider the fact that perhaps being able to locate this item is sort of the opposite of what the Lich would want.
Yeah.
Sort of, what little you know about Liches is that they may be so paranoid that they wouldn't risk having any ability to locate an object, even by themselves, on the off chance that someone else is trying to find
Which
it.
makes sense why he hadn't recovered it.
Yep.
So if
This
Makes
tracks.
a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
hard to say for sure, but
Sure.
you can kind of follow that mental arithmetic a little bit. But I mean, I think it would still be really strange to all of you as to how on earth it was separated from the Lich in the first place. But yeah,
All right.
While we're on the boat ride, I mean, since I have downtime, can I identify or attempt to identify some of the items we found?
yeah.
Okay.
Did you find out how long it was?
For
Could be a.
oh no.
Okay.
I just know that we left.
It was I want to say it was like 4 hours.
We left in the afternoon and got there in evening.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I got.
Cool. So you'll still get back on the same day.
Yeah.
No rest.
All right. I'll start with the full plate. That's probably not going to do it.
I like my stupid joke.
It's a 9 plus 22 for the full plate.
Not enough. Yeah, it is a little more powerfully enchanted than you're ready to recognize just yet.
The 2 unidentified potions.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'll just cast myself. Why not? This is Arcana.
One in the box.
It is.
Okay. 26.
Oh, that might be enough.
Ooh.
It is enough.
Ooh.
It's challenging, but eventually you do identify them both as potions of flying.
Oh, nice.
Much like
Level 8 potion.
the haste one, it gives you a fly speed of 40 for a minute.
Nice.
That's sweet.
Pretty.
Nice to have in your back pocket or sleeve
Or bandolier.
or bandolier.
For 1 minute.
But not
Yes.
bandolier.
And then
I was thinking about it. I think probably even a mundane bandolier, you could at least draw it in one action, as opposed to your backpack, which takes 2 actions.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I wasn't thinking that you could reduce it to less than.
So that's what I was thinking of. There's a magic item that lets you do it for free.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
I'm almost positive
That
it
would
is.
make sense that would be a magical item.
It like
the
appears
last
in your
one
hand or something.
Okay.
is 27 for the unidentified potion in the bell tower.
Yes.
Yes, it is a potion of energy breathing acid.
Potion of acid breathing?
Yeah, basically. I can't remember the exact name of the.
Potion of acid breathing.
That's pretty cool.
Let me find the actual.
I'll take that.
It's an energy breath potion, acid.
Change that from unidentified.
Lesser.
It is a lesser, yes. 4d6.
So much
46.
damage.
All
I
right.
mean, that joke's probably going to be not funny eventually, right?
No.
So everything but the plate
I'll never
is
stop.
now identified.
What was the final question?
It's potion of. It's a energy breath potion, lesser of acid.
Acid. Yes, acid. Yep. And I think if there's any, I don't think there's anything else that I would do. I mean, was Redrick working on? Does he have anything that needs to transfer?
Yeah, but it's gonna take. He needs to transfer the flame rune to my glaive.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that means my glaive is out of commission for is it 8 hours for him to transfer a rune?
I think so.
I think it's
Sent
8
it.
hours of work.
Can he do it like in part and then come back to it?
I mean,
Or-
then I definitely will not be able to use my glaive while
Right.
if he's in part through it.
I don't think that's a problem to do it in parts, but it can't be seriously interrupted. Like, you can't do a couple hours and then wait a week and do a couple
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to use the item in the interim.
I think it's a good time to do it though, because we're traveling and we're going back to Starsong.
Yeah.
I mean,
You could also, like, would it be worth just having, like, the rapier?
Yeah, for sure. I would hold on to a different weapon in the interim.
Yeah.
So we'll have him work on that.
And then we have to pay 10% of the rune's price.
Which I'll do out of.
He doesn't need to have like a workbench or anything for that.
I don't think so. He was working on the armor thing on the evenings.
You didn't mention anything about it. I can
Okay.
look at the crafting rules, but
Let me look at the cost. It's 10% of the
10%.
The only reason that I was slightly, holy cow, freaking flaming rune is a lot of GP.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How much? 500 gold piece.
500. Wow. That's quite the find.
So it says you need an appropriate set of tools, and in many cases, a workshop. I would argue that is probably left up to you, unless there might be like.
Yeah, I think
It takes some degree of feat.
I can check. It does specify, like, for example, you need access to a smithy to forge a metal shield, or an alchemist lab to produce alchemical items.
This is just general crafting.
But an alchemist lab is like an item.
I would be willing to be flexible, but I think, like, within reason. Like, probably he can't work on it while in a boat or in a kayak. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
in my mind, it's like careful etching or something, where like you probably need a stationary place, but you don't need like an extensive.
Yeah, I'm imagining him like rolling out a big leather tool roll and like using that as a base, or like a
campfire
little
works,
table or
but on a boat
something.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works out anyway, because I was wanting to ask Asuriel what her other runes that she had was, because I remember that it was mentioned that she had weapons with runes on them.
Nothing else anybody wants to do while we're on the boat.
Nope.
All right.
Well, you get back to Starsong Hill probably just afternoon, or early afternoon sometime. And they bring you. I think they would probably bring you right back to where you started in Starsong Hill, which is to say, back to Celeria's house. Her her pet alligator sort of swimming laps in the pool below you. It looks like a lot of the seriousness of your original encounter has passed, and Celeria looks genuinely intrigued to see you all come back and from more or less in one piece. She holds up a hand and gestures you to sit, make yourselves comfortable, before any of you say anything. And she says, "Have you good news for us?"
I hold up the head of the one swamp.
Like, I can imagine you like taking the cloak off of it.
Do you want me to like throw this to your pet, or
Let me gather other tribal leaders. I think they may want to hear this firsthand.
so I'll lay that out onto like whatever.
She'll take it from you and like put it on the on a table next to her.
Yeah, well, I would lay down whatever it was like wrapped in on that table so she could put it down, and then I'd motion for you to put like the egg pieces down next to it.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, she sort of uses some sign language. That's what it looks like, at least, to the elves that rode you or led you back and forth from the lake, and they quickly return with both Kiliar and Trelara, who Trelara looks genuinely excited. Kiliar is a little more stoic. Trelara, though, in a rather significant departure from the last time you saw her, where she was pretty torn up, looks thrilled. And at least for an elf, she looks like she's almost vibrating. She's excited to hear what you have to say. After they sit, Celeria says, "Please, let us know what has happened. What has brought you back to us?"
When she's calling the people, could I say to her, can you make sure the priest comes?
Oh, well, yes, of course. I'll see if we can find him.
Bit of an issue I'd like cleared up.
Yeah. So, she'll call for all the whole group. He takes a little longer to arrive. But as you wait patiently, Celeria will share some sort of honey wine with you all to pass the time. She makes sure all of you get a cup should you want one. But the priest does arrive after a little bit of a delay. He looks a little bit like he was in the middle of things, but he doesn't complain. He seems excited to see you all. And then, yes, Celeria says, "Yeah, what do you all have to share?"
We've driven them out of rest. The Red Hand, lizard folk. They fled.
And what did you discover was driving them in their unnatural ways?
Black dragon. In addition to that, some, I don't know, pumped up hobgoblin chump who shot a lot of arrows that hurt a lot. There was quite a few of them there. They had, I don't know how many we take out. 20?
Couple dozen, maybe.
They had ogres. They had ettins. They had
Trivial.
a hobgoblin that casted spells.
Not so trivial.
They had a giant eagle.
Kiliar points to the severed head
Yeah, there's that.
on the table.
There's more to that too. Pointed at the eggshells. There was that, of course. The Black Dragon and their leader Sarvith got away. I just couldn't hit the bastard.
Kiliar says, they fled from you.
Technically twice.
In case it wasn't clear.
I love the idea that on their end they're insight checking this.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
They're trying to breed, by the looks of it, an army of these things, but we put a stop to that.
How many do you think are left for us to destroy in the swamps? They are ruthless, these creatures. This is Kiliar speaking.
How many in your scouting, aside from the one we ran into the other night, have you run into or seen many others?
We've seen 3, and the 3 that we've seen are more or less accounted for. We managed to kill 2 collectively. We were lucky enough to catch them out of water long enough to take them down with bows, so we didn't have to engage them hand to hand. And then, of course, we saw the aftermath of the one you killed.
Possible they're all gone then.
I don't suspect that if any, I mean, you have been scouting for a while for these things and keeping a close eye. I can't imagine that at most, they're probably all gone. At most, maybe even just 1 or 2, if they somehow have managed to avoid your notice in your patrols, but I find that highly unlikely with how diligently you have been up in the air.
Creatures these size leave significant signs.
Yeah.
Well, they swim well, and they hide in the bogs and the rivers. But I hope you're right. The only thing I fear is that perhaps they were active before we realized. They just we hadn't encountered any of them before, early on. But it is a relief to know that, and he kind of raises an eyebrow at all of you, we won't be seeing any more from the lake?
No.
Not a chance.
There were hundreds of eggs.
A crisis averted then, Trelara says. What they would have done with 100 of those creatures, I do not want to know.
Yeah. It was ugly business.
What happened to the lizard folk? Did you destroy them all?
They all fled after that was what we saw, right? Were they actually like evacuating even the shoreline too?
Yes, it seemed as though they were taking their belongings and leaving the shacks on the coasts.
Yeah.
When
Direction did they flee?
Mountain.
Every direction. Just deeper into the swamp in some cases.
Yeah.
Some of them did head away from the lake going east, which would have been to the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
They were worshiping this dragon as their god, and after we thrashed it and it flew westward towards the main force of the Red Hand's army. After we did that, the lizard folk they fled, they scattered. Some ran back towards the mountains, but they abandoned the shorelines completely and fled.
well, so long as they remain unorganized, I don't think I can complain about that. They never really bothered us until they were brought under this creature's control.
They've scattered to the 4 corners, from what I could tell.
Well, That is a relief to hear. One or two of these creatures is not a challenge for our soldiers. It's when they amass that things become dangerous. Well, I suppose the real question is, do you think this will last? What, did you discover why they were here, what they were doing in the swamp, and whether they might come back in a future date?
I think the primary reason was to breed this new army of monsters. It seemed everything at that operation was set up to that effect, and perhaps they'll return, but I doubt any time soon. Granted, if they were to take Brindle, I suspect that they could very easily come back.
I would say, based on what we found in their base and their communications, though minimal, they'll cover first Brindle, and then they'll head up this way and wipe everything they can.
Trilara, as you explain this, steps up and begins to investigate the egg. And kind of shakes her head as she looks at it. Such strange creatures. It's as if they are part lizard, part animal, but this reeks of the hells. Yeah, all I'll say is that I'm glad they're gone.
Well, the Red Hand is, as we know it, led by
Azarkul.
Yeah, led by Azarkul. And from what I could tell at their base that we took out in the Witchwood across the river, seems to be some sort of demon that's running this show, or devil that's running this show.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Nope, you didn't know that. You weren't here yet. But yeah, by the way, there's a devil named Azarkul that all these guys report to.
Well, do you think it's safe for us to send some soldiers to explore the ruins at this point, or?
Not the bell tower.
Does it still have creatures within?
No, we made it very dangerous to go in there.
We booby-trapped the entrance.
Killier
Speaking
chuckles at that.
Speaking of, if you have any riders in the area, tell them to keep an ear out for a large bell
Sound.
sound.
This is the sign of your trap.
Indeed.
It is the trap.
Should we hear such a bell, would you suggest we investigate, or is it a sign that we should
It would
prepare our forces?
simply be a sign that the enemy has returned to old rest in some capacity.
They are concerned here. We definitely took everything that we could from them to sabotage their operations. And it wouldn't surprise me. Some things they had more hidden than others. And it wouldn't surprise me if they come back looking for some of the things that we took from them. Hence why we left a trap. But I don't think they can come back in force. The only thing that's coming back and checking out those ruins is a dragon. So I don't know if that's something that you folk want to try and take down.
Now, if we have some time, we could could, if you think that you could take out the dragon and potentially
Two.
you could land ambush. If they come back expecting the 5 of us, and there's instead a large ambush, it may catch them off guard. But end of the day, a flurry of arrows may not be enough to stop a dragon from spewing a bunch of acid.
And poison. If the green one comes.
Killiar says, I appreciate your vote of confidence, but I don't know if we're quite trained for that level of foe.
That's good.
My hope is that they just do not return here.
I think it's unlikely
If they
before
kill one
Brindle's
of us,
attacked.
they might be.
Yeah, I mean, that's good too, because if you guys took one of them down, that's going to really limit the collection of dragon heads I have when all this is done. I at least need a green and a black dragon head at this point.
Trilara,
Pauldrons. They'd be really heavy.
after
Worth it.
a moment, says, I think it undebatable at this point that you have done us a great service. I would ask now what you plan to do next. And perhaps it will, after some discussion amongst us here, what we might do to repay the debt.
Well, there are 2 things I can think of. If you have riders that you can spare, could be of great help, could be very decisive help at the battle in Brindle. If you were to send some of your riders, as there are fast, quick flying enemies that I believe you could deal with very effectively.
Yeah,
We fought manticores,
Chimera.
chimera.
One thing that we're definitely lacking in is air superiority.
I think our people could make an incredible difference, and if you could help us get there faster as well, that would be most appreciated. But
We do have one more stop to make before we return to the south.
that's right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bash up that.
Kevin was promised.
We're gonna bash up that barricade that they have set up on the Old Rest Trail.
Celeria nods. Ah, yes, you mentioned they have blocked off access to the north
Yeah.
along the road.
Only for now.
Well, we will discuss it, and we will let you know our decision. In the meantime, what are your plans? Sure, you wish to destroy this blockage in the road, but what beyond that?
The map. Bring out the map.
Well, I know exactly what our plan is. However, I was informed not to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
Well, okay. Under the table, as we would have discussed prior to returning
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
the thing that you want to do that you can't talk about is related to the phylactery.
Yep, and the Ghost Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to know
So-
if
so
these
what do we-
elves know more about
Yeah.
a druid Ghost Lord.
Yeah. I think that's the.
It's a
Yeah.
very reasonable
I think it's
thing
fine to ask
that
about
they
that,
might
just-
know about
yeah.
the glaive. I mean, we could just not mention we have the
That's what I was.
phylactery.
That's the main thing I don't want to say is. Oh,
Right.
we have his phylactery.
Great, because
I'm
Rex,
fine with the
Rex
rest.
will definitely blurt out the aspect. Not anything
Yeah,
about
okay,
the
then.
phylactery, but he's gonna blurt out the
Yeah.
aspect of.
He'll like give you.
That makes
Renor will
sense.
give you a nod,
Yeah.
We
and he'll in your mind.
found
just-
mention of something.
Yeah. So, there's one particularly disturbing and important piece of information that we had found amongst looting this dragon's lair.
You sort of all have all of their attention on you when you say that.
What do you... I feel like, in particular, with your knowledge and culture and history within the Witchwood and within the Vale, you may know something about an individual known as the Ghost Lord.
Kiliar looks immediately puzzled. Celeria and Trolara look at each other for briefly, and then all three of them look at Ilian, who's been in the corner, hasn't said a word the whole time. He looks at you confusedly for a moment and says, "Do you mean the fairy tale about the evil ghost lord who will
That's the one.
haunt you if you do ill of the creatures of the wild?"
That's the one.
They're real.
He is real.
Why would you say that?
The enemy believes he is real.
These hobgoblins and the dragons, they believe the ghost lord exists in the flesh.
They have communication between them.
Flesh seems to be debatable.
Yeah.
They have communication between them and Sarvith, and the other one's name is Ulwai. And it seems that they have some degree of leverage over this ghost lord, and their intent to use that.
Frankly, if it were coming from anyone else, I don't think I would give this a second thought. But I mean, it's a topic there certainly is writing on in our libraries. I could research. I could help you look if that's of interest to you.
I immediately just whip my head towards Runar. I have a lot of interest in the topic and no interest in the reading. However, he or him, they might, on the other hand.
Well, we can certainly research what stories there are of this character. Perhaps it'll elucidate what you're looking for. He looks at you quizzically, are these guys for real? It's sort of like, he's like, oh, we heard the boogeyman is out there, and he is mad, and he is working with your enemies. The Republicans have hired him to run their campaign. He's just like, what?
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, he says, I'm happy to dedicate some time. I think you've earned that at least.
That'd be a great help to us.
I really want to, again, undo the table. I really want the option of, revealing the note. I mean, I don't even know if they speak Goblin, though.
Gobbledygook. But the note
Mentions the
it, yeah.
phylactery, yeah.
but also, we wouldn't want them going up being like, ooh, maybe we'll go stealth mission and see if we can find this phylactery and have this leverage that
We could also
Trust them.
no. We could make a copy of
Don't be
it.
foolish.
Of the note.
Yeah, without the.
I think we just need to find where he is. We don't really need.
What all did the note say? Can we just rip off part of it so that we just don't have the mentions of the phylactery?
I can read you the note if you'd like.
That would be lovely.
I think
The first and last word is phylactery.
Sarvith, take great care with the enclosed phylactery. I need not explain to you what the Ghost Lord would do if he knew where I had sent his little bauble for safekeeping. Hide it somewhere safe. Perhaps it could be trusted to your dragon's keeping. Keep it hidden until Brindle is taken. Should it fall into the hands of someone who could return it to its owner, the consequences for our effort could be dire indeed.
I think we're insane if we say, oh, we're gonna take the ghost lord.
Santa needs a sleigh bag, so we're gonna deliver it. To him.
Yeah.
That's what I keep thinking.
That's why I want to show them the note, even if they're like, "So you have this?" Maybe. It's alright. I will not, because I am overruled in the. Well, maybe Redrick, but proxy Redrick doesn't necessarily agree. So.
What?
About potentially telling them that we have this.
Redrick would probably be fine showing them.
I think he'd be like, what reason do they have to lie?
Runar, what's your vote?
My vote is it's need to know information, and it doesn't really change anything if we tell
It
them.
increases the urgency of them and them believing us tenfold if we say, hey, if we find this guy, there won't be a lich unleashed.
I think we say we hold off on it, we broach the topic,
Yeah.
learn what we can learn, and then, if we're... I suspect there's no great reason to not tell them outside of, the chance of it leaking to the enemy that we have it, kind of thing, but...
Which they know we have it because, well, they will know if they go and check.
Right.
Which they will go and check for it and see it's not there. They'll know somebody took it. Us buddies. But yeah, I think it's fine to.
Maybe we tell them
punt.
later. I think we don't.
I think it's fine
We
to
can
punt
hold
and
off for
telling
this
them.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Celeria says, perhaps you would enjoy a rest in a proper bed. We'll show you to your
Yes.
tents.
Mechanically, yes.
Perhaps you can bathe in cleaner water and we can see if we can't have some of your clothing repaired. If you would return to us at dusk, we shall have some idea of. It's just
noon.
early afternoon.
Well, I guess we did all this kind of in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We set out at daybreak.
Yep.
And you really didn't spend that much time looting. Like, it was all in that one area. The longest time you spent was probably you making
Freezing.
ice.
Yeah.
It was a couple hours maybe. And you guys, I think if I remember correctly, you kicked things off at dawn.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
like crack of
Yeah.
dawn.
Because
So-
we were like, we need to get set up so we
it
can
was
be.
the travel that
yeah.
was the longest part, right?
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was the previous day.
And then the
way
travel
back,
back,
yeah.
yeah.
This
Come
man still isn't slept.
return at dusk and we shall discuss how we might be of help to you. Until then, as always, you have full reign of our village. Let us know how we might help you.
We appreciate it. Give it a small bow, and then I think since it's the middle of the day, we should go sell a bunch of stuff. And I have a couple more spells I'd like to see if I can find.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want to know what. No, if you have something to say to them. Go
That's
for
it.
it.
I immediately after this would go talk to the priest and
So the priest stays with them to discuss, as part of the council.
I would ask him before I leave. I would just ask him if he could help me with the curse that I have, if he knows, because it's I think remove curse is like a divine spell.
You've suffered some.
Do you know that you're cursed?
He hit me with a spell. I would imagine I know that I got hit with a spell.
You would know that you were hit by a spell, and the effect of the spell does not seem to be going away.
Yeah.
So whether you know for a fact that it's a curse, you probably don't, but you know it's something
It's
bad.
yeah.
Are you in danger physically? Do you fear for your well-being?
I can feel the effect of some spell that I got hit with.
He raises an eyebrow when he talks to you one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he cocks his head and he says, "Yes, you seem different. I can't place it."
A lot less charming than
Racist.
before, perhaps.
Does it actually happen? Does it impact for us as well, or is it just NPCs, the curse?
Yeah, so it really only affects people
Impacts
who he's never met before.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
I was gonna say
Still
he's
is
a
impacted.
little bit more offensive.
You do notice that something's off, but you can't place it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the pond water.
Yeah, I thought he just stunk.
Yeah, just smelly. If you fear for your well-being, I can certainly take a look immediately. Otherwise, I would suggest we reconvene at dusk, and we can both discuss this side effect and perhaps begin looking through my libraries.
Fair enough.
If anything changes, please do return immediately. I will see to it. I do suspect I may need to do some thinking on what spells I might need to aid you. But yes.
Thank you.
And with that, he returns to discussions with the rest of the elves. So, you have a few hours, and you are all familiar with the island at this point. What would you like to do?
Go straight to Asuriel.
She doesn't waste any time, and she wants to know if you got to use your weapon and how it turned out.
It was fantastic. I already cleaved into a dragon. That freaking worm ran away.
She claps. She's so excited.
I'm that her excitement takes the edge off a little bit, but Rex is visibly disappointed that is Corey got away. I mean, it was pretty good. It did a great job. I'm infuriated I missed the shot to take that wretch down while it was running away. It would have been legendary. But we got quite a haul of interesting things from its horde.
Oh.
I imagine you wanted to sell that stuff, right? Well, some stuff. So.
Well, you went to the right place. She is thrilled to. She wants she's excited to see what you have to sell her, but she wants to hear the gory details. She wants
Okay.
the details on combat, of the fights.
Yeah.
And how the weapons performed and stuff.
Yeah, so I'll tell her about the aspect of I jumped down off the stairs onto the dragon with the glaive and went through, and I guess not too much embellish the fact that it was this sweeping strike from above, and then we drove it out, it ran away, dove into the water again with the glaive to chase a black dragon that was swimming away. Just go into all of the nitty gritty.
You notice after the 10 or 15 minutes, a couple more elves start to filter over, and they at first they're pretending that they're just hanging out at the front of her establishment.
Yeah.
Clearly just trying to listen in to your conversation, and then eventually some of the younger elves just push their way in and unabashedly are just listening to your stories.
Yeah, and Rex is kind of noticing more people, but mostly focused on recounting the hunt to somebody who's really interested in it. So.
And the other elves remain respectful. They don't ask any questions, and she is clearly she's asking specific questions about how the weapon's handled and how the monsters reacted to your attacks and how you were rebuffed and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I tell her about the insane long shots that the bow hit, as well as the efficacy of the glaive against that fiend, the swamp monster. So I just go into. I'd leave out the fact that Redrick was on death's door for the sake of his I make sure that all of us clearly in the storytelling were we took a beating, but we were
We
we
gave
had
it
it.
even.
It was handled right. Like definitely they were the ones, which they were on back foot, but they were definitely there. We weren't in trouble.
She does ask a little bit about the weapons that the hobgoblins were using and whether they were of interesting make or anything, like especially the more powerful sounding ones or the more interesting sounding foes that you fought.
Yeah. I mean I would for sure relay the aspect that the like Sarvith and the arrows that he was shooting, like he had to have been using a weapon that was of superior make, because like even if he's a very talented archer, there's just no way that he was able to like land such devastating blows without a superior weapon as well.
So strange to think that there's a hobgoblin counterpart of mine somewhere off in the horde making weapons like this.
Yeah, it might be a devil.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, if you get your hands on any demonic weapons, please, I'd like to see them.
Sure.
She will. Why don't you make a diplomacy check for me?
Oh, I'm so good at these.
And I'll give you +4 to the check.
Oh, thank goodness I have +4 on this roll now. Sick. This is gonna be like so bad. It could have been worse. It's a 14.
Okay. Well, you don't get any extra any extra buy price on these items.
That's fine. That feels totally on brand.
But she will pay you. She'll buy anything you want, pretty much. So whatever you want to sell, she will buy.
Okay. And then, I guess
including the non-weapon stuff. Like, will you sell her? Can we sell her the
art
the
stuff,
bracelet and this statue and?
Yes, although
the bazaar has other, or whatever this place. I don't think it's called the bazaar, but this place has plenty of shops that would just buy those items, right?
yes, it's the Hall of Ancestors is what it's called. Yes, absolutely. She will buy anything you sell her, except for, do you try to sell the tapestry?
Oh, that's his.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So it depends on if he tries to sell
Okay.
it or not.
if you start unloading the lion statue,
Yep, for sure.
bracelet, then I would say, oh, here, we also have this, and I just pull out this like big rug.
She will unroll it like halfway.
Yeah.
She will raise an eyebrow and say, "Where did you get this?"
It was in the castle.
Basically, their
not
barracks.
the keep. Yeah.
This has a stench of something wrong about it. I don't
It's
think.
probably a bit musty. We can clean it.
Well, I think the condition and make are quite impressive. It's the subject matter that I'm not that interested in.
What's on it again? Remind me.
It is an image of a humanoid in great black spiked armor with flames erupting all around it. And examining it closely in good lighting, you can see that there are, in the armor, and also in the mace that the creature carries in one of its mailed hands, there are very subtly sewn, like, wailing faces, like screaming faces, in the engraved into the armor and weapon. Yeah, it's kind of an unsettling effect. I don't think you guys found out what exactly it is.
Does it give me, as one with a little bit of an edge knowledge, not that this takes rocket science, but does it give me certainly infernal / diabolic
Definitely.
traces? Maybe this is something to show to Ilian. Might know more.
That's who I would show it to if I wanted to know more about it. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I'll fold it back up and I'll just.
I guess the things from a businessy perspective would be, how long would it take her to transfer a rune / pricing? Because I know that Redrick can do it just for the 10% cost. I don't know if she charges a surcharge in addition to the cost to transfer. Especially if I'm giving her the option of transferring a flaming rune to the glaive that she is named
She
for.
would not charge you a surcharge. She would do it at cost for you.
Okay. Sweet. I might just.
So long as it's going to one of her weapons,
Mhm.
she'll do it at cost.
Does she have a
As far
estimate at how long it would take?
she's pretty talented, but I don't remember.
Takes 8 hours
Okay.
raw to transfer a rune. Doesn't matter what rune.
Yeah. So it'll take her one evening.
I mean, I might as well have her do one of them.
Yeah.
So I'd ever put the flaming from the mace, that +1 mace that we found.
Oh.
That's gorgeous because it's like gold and silver, like Restolorian, right?
She recognizes it right away.
The mace?
Yeah, she says this is old.
Yeah.
This is pre-fall of the Restolorian conclave old. I'm impressed that any of this is still around.
Had a full set of armor. Actually, I doubt he came with. Maybe he came with, but our buddy Redrick is going to be wearing that full plate mail set of this stuff.
And these runes are no joke. Whoever was wearing this originally was a force to be reckoned with, I would imagine.
Any chance you would be able to tell us more specifics about this full plate armor?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, it's definitely magical.
Oh, you
Identified.
I could probably,
In more words than full plate armor.
if you just want me to tell you what runes have been engraved on it, I might be able to do that.
What is it? It's better than what
It's
we
a fun
got right
start.
now. Yeah.
Okay. She is even more impressed by the armor.
Reasonable. So are we.
She says, yes, it's certainly not my style, but whoever wrought this was a master, perhaps even more talented than myself. I am very impressed. You just found this, oh, you said the dragon had it?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's appropriate then.
Yeah. If that doesn't give more credence to the fact that this dragon exists, we didn't just find this laying around.
It just actually at the bottom of a lake.
Yeah.
Some guy fell in, couldn't swim.
And stuff, they're just both. This guy's got this awesome. He's got this gorgeous armor, this gorgeous shield, this incredible mace.
There's no swimming rune on it though.
These boots of bounding. Dude's just bottom of the lake.
Are you sure you don't want a swimming rune on there? No, I'll be fine. What am I gonna do? Fall in a lake?
I'm so athletic. I can jump so far with these boots of bounding. I will never fall into the lake.
She
It's striding and swimming, right?
after a moment, she says, I have not seen them inscribed in quite this way before. It's not how I would do it, but this armor has been woven not only with resilience to physical attacks, but also to all magical effects. It's so it's plus 1 resilient armor, so it's +1 to AC, +1 to all saves.
Holy crap.
Is that actually the identification of the armor, or is there
It
potentially more?
It is +1 resilient full plate. Yes, that is the full armor. Although it's technically worth more because the base unenchanted armor is worth more than normal full plate because it's
It's like a
exquisite.
masterwork armor that is also.
Yes, it's almost like an art piece that's also armor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Resilient rune is 340 gold.
Wow.
Yeah, so the enchantment on the armor is 500 gold total, and then the full plate itself, if you don't count the enchantment, normally that's a 30 gold item. This is a 300 gold item.
Wow.
Just for its
Just wearing a car.
yeah. It has like, I mean, and it's clear, especially now that you have it cleaned up a little bit. Like she polishes it up, and it's like it's got all of this really intricate, subtle silver and red inlay, and it looks like much of the red inlay is done in like semi-precious stone, so it's like not painted on. It's actual like perhaps grit or like a ground stone that's been mixed with epoxy or something. Like it's
That's so cool.
really, really cool. Very, very finely made item.
So we have 2 different bags of holding.
We just have one.
I think you just have one.
There's bag of holding 1 and bag of holding 2.
We have bag of holding one.
Yeah, technically it's a bag of holding half.
Bag of holding half.
Alright. Well, it's more just a label rather than anything else. So, and I'm talking about our group inventory.
Oh. I don't think you guys found a second one. If you might have, but I don't remember where it was.
It might be
No, we didn't.
intended for my sleeves, potentially.
Could be.
Sleeves.
True.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break here? I would like to get something to drink, and then we will continue
We'll see
After.
you soon.
us. So you still have a little time to do some shopping if you want, but yeah, I don't think if you've already searched for something in the last 2 days, it's not
Yeah.
you're not going to find it. But apart from that, I'm happy to let you know.
Caleb, did you directly subtract the money from the gold?
I would try and
Did you want
find
to start tracking
a
items as we
source
find them?
of the jump and earthbind at this point?
Not really, because it feels like it's too hard to keep. Like we have that item to buy column,
You could find jump trivially,
but I don't know.
so that's a no question
I think
whatsoever.
They used to be there, aren't there now. So
Earthbind,
Start. I'm fine with that.
you don't find, but you do find someone who will create a scroll for you if you want.
That's okay. I'll check somewhere else. But I would very much like to learn jump.
you also
Well,
said
you can absolutely
while
buy
you were away from the
scroll
table that you should
if you
just
want.
buy +1 leather
What's
armor you can
the
wear.
first level scroll?
4 gold for a scroll.
Yeah, it's not much.
Okay.
Because after
Do I have?
Yeah,
Roderick
it's
puts
just
on
4
the full
gold.
plate, we'll transfer the +1 to Davian, and then you're the only one that doesn't have a +1. So we figured
Cool.
you should
Yeah,
just
I
buy
will. I'll
plus
spend
one
4 gold.
Yeah,
and
you
then
should
it's an
armor.
extra.
I think I have
2
+1
for the
leather armor. I think that was
transcribing
one
it
of the
unless I crush
items
this
I
roll.
took at the beginning.
Oh. Natural
Okay.
20.
Yeah, it's
I guess-
crushed.
It
Don't
only
waste it,
costs me
then
one.
buy another.
And then does it
Never mind.
consume the scroll itself?
I think so.
Okay.
Because I think it like transfers the magic itself within the scroll to the spell book. Something like that.
You actually just staple the scroll into
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
You can like see the sellotape around the edges where you taped it in.
It doesn't specifically say if it uses the scroll.
The thing that throws me off is that
That bottom section is not helpful.
which
The spent stuff.
Oh, the boots
well
of
the spend stuff
These
I
are
think
regular
it's-
boots of Elvenkind?
is
Yes.
interesting.
They're
I think
they're arboreal.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's
Sorry, they're arboreal boots.
Yeah,
to me
which
it's
are
like,
nice, but they don't increase your movement. They just make it so you don't get impeded.
Yeah, that's a lot less good.
Yeah.
It sounds like it doesn't.
okay. Yeah, if it
we use
if
the-
it doesn't
I think it's
say-
a 5e
we
thing.
just keep
if it
accumulating
yeah if it
on top
if it doesn't say in the
over here.
in the write up, then
Yeah,
I'd
no,
say
that confuses
because
me.
it
Row 20 is
clearly
confusing.
says what's consumed. Like
Yep.
you have to spend this amount of money or whatever.
Yeah, spend an hour per level, have the materials
But that's
available, blah blah blah. So,
We can talk.
so if it is okay
After
with
the
you,
session, maybe.
so obviously I spend 1 gold on the actual, and then I'll sell the
Yeah,
scroll
put back
back
your
for
60
2. So I'll
then.
rent the scroll for 2 gold,
Yeah.
learn it, and return it. So I only spent 3 gold
We'll talk
total
about it afterwards.
Yeah.
to make this happen.
That's really funny. I would like to rent this scroll, please. It's just like going up to a bartender and being, I would like to rent 1 pint of ale, please.
I'll return it to you in an hour.
That's not how this works at all.
Excellent.
Oh, man.
Now I know
It is if you
jump.
rent me some
Look
beer.
out, everyone.
What are the
If I fail to drink it, I'll give
What
back.
consumables do they have?
They have those spell strike arrows. I think we talked about those last time. You can like cast a spell into them and then deliver it with a bow.
Is that like we can load those?
Right. So like you can cast a spell onto the ammunition,
What?
and then
Someone else could use that?
and then whoever has the weapon that's firing the arrow can shoot the arrow, and then the spell happens on the target. Now, there is one catch. It only affects the creature hit.
Yeah.
So like you can cast a fireball
Right.
into a spell scroll if you have a high enough level arrow, but when it hits the enemy, the fireball only explodes on the enemy. It doesn't hit anyone else, if that makes sense.
If you want to become a magus, Lenny, if you buy those, I will give you imaginary weapon, amped imaginary weapon arrows.
What is it?
You will, as soon as I heard it, like, oh my god, that's so insane.
Wait, what is this?
Spell strike arrows. How much do they cost? If they're not like prohibitively expensive, you should buy them, and then you will literally have my imaginary weapons.
For a limited number, but yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah, just like,
Could be
let
some
me
ace
just put
in
these
the
fireballs on an arrow.
Yeah.
Put them in my pocket.
It could be kind of
Oh my
nuts for ace in the hole arrows.
Fourth level vampiric feast on an arrow. You shoot something, it takes like 8d6 necrotic damage, and you get temp HP
Oh my
equal
god.
to half of what it deals.
It's pretty good.
That'd be sick.
If you want to add 8d8 to your damage,
Oh my
then I can give you
gosh.
an amped imaginary weapon arrow.
So it reads, you
So
cast a spell into the ammunition. The cost of the arrow depends on what level spell you want to cast into it, if that makes sense. So the higher level the spell, the more expensive the magical arrow is.
How expensive are cantrips?
Well, how does
Um,
it work with heightened?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it?
Well, if they're heightened, it is effectively the higher levels.
Yes, right.
So
So,
what's a fourth level one?
fourth, they're expensive, 150 gold.
I assume you can retrieve them.
No, they're consumable. It's one time only.
Okay.
What are these?
But so
Spell
how
strike
long do they?
ammunition?
If I put a bunch of fireballs and a bunch of those arrows today, and tomorrow I reprep all my spells,
Oh,
those
level
arrows are all
four.
still
Level
fine
four
to
is
use. They're just
150.
one-off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
ammunition. Okay, yeah, that's why it's busted because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that makes
You
sense.
you gear up for a fight at Bringle.
Yeah.
It basically lets you have like specialty arrows for every situation. And the other thing that I should mention is that my other group got one of these arrows and really screwed me, or did not screwed me. I honestly, it was really smart of them. I was actually very impressed because they read through the description a bunch of times. It does not say the arrow has to be shot out of a weapon.
Oh my gosh.
So
they melee attacked with it?
no, they have a cantrip that like picks up an item off the ground and throws it.
Oh my god.
So they like
can't miss, just hits.
they just have like all these arrows that they just chuck with their own spells, and then it does
It
damage
does.
from the spell, and then whatever spell is in the arrow as well. So yeah, it's just
Wow.
Man, that's a bit of a nuke. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so level 1 spells are 12 gold arrows, 2 is 30 gold, 3 is 70 gold, 4 is 150.
I think level 3 is the sweet spot there if you actually wanted some. Because I could put Vampiric Touch into that. That's a third level spell. So you're looking at 6d6 plus you gain the temp HP equal to half of whatever they take.
Yeah, I mean, I'd buy them. However many. I will leave it to the mages who will be putting spells into the arrows of how many arrows we want to acquire.
Put mirror image into it. Boom, you hit them and suddenly there's 3 extras. Oh god.
I mean, I feel like if you're getting third level, you should get at least 3 of them.
What? 210 gold.
sort of like a.
Listen, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying this
We have
is
been
one of
talking
those
about
things.
how
This
a
is
lot of our eggs are in the melee basket currently.
Yeah, it seems like
This is a real solid investment in the ranged basket.
I'm in for it.
Seems like
I'm just saying this is one of those things that you can put as much money as you want
Yeah,
into
I
it
know.
because they roll up. So I'm gonna let the people who are dictating what spells go into these arrows decide what we do with them.
I'm down for getting three
Yeah.
third level ones.
I like that.
And
How expensive are they?
70 a pop.
per.
They're pricey,
But I can put, so it's 6d6 necrotic damage. They get a fort save to half, and then whatever they actually take, you get half of that as temp HP. So it's potentially 9d6 worth of value you're putting on an arrow.
But also, like, pretty
99
rad
hit
if you
points,
crit.
that's so much.
yeah. And you could also, I could also,
That's true. If it
Oh.
crits,
Yeah.
can
oh man.
for the
that's
purposes
disgusting.
of filling these arrows, could I heighten Could I heighten it to only 3rd level for a cantrip? Is that something that... Do you have to heighten to max level? I don't think anyone would ever...
I assume you can
yeah.
choose.
So we could also mix it up, give you like 1 giga imaginary weapon arrow, and then a couple of... Because then you
I could put a fireball's only 66 fire.
So it's 6... So as a 68 for a 3rd level imaginary
And it's all
weapon.
force damage?
It's magical, whatever you want damage. Bludgeoning, piercing, or
If
slashing.
in a emergency scenario, someone grabs one of the arrows and just stabs someone with it just to get the temp HP out of it.
It's kind of sweet. It's the greatest dagger you'll stab someone with one time.
Well, it does say a creature hit by spell strike ammunition. That's all. The only requirement it says. So
Yeah.
That's what I say. That's what I thought initially when you were talking about it, that they were melee attacking with these arrows. Like
If the arrow misses, can you, like, does the spell not go off and you can go reclaim it?
Magical stuff doesn't just break. From what I
So,
know of magic items.
it depends how
If you miss and it hits a tree,
activation
just like-
works.
toothpicks.
I mean, it took damage.
Yeah.
I get temp HP, right?
It's a living creature. No one said it had to be sentient.
Tree, please make a fort save. Ugh.
Just save from being turned into a fort.
Yeah, I think as written, it requires it to hit a creature. So long as you can find it afterward,
Yeah.
and it didn't hit a creature. Like, just hope it doesn't like hit a random.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like
Child passing
yeah,
by
like
and
it's a
just
chipmunk,
explode.
just
What
like
do you mean?
vaporizes
Heal
it.
like crazy.
Oh, that's true.
I think in that case, you could go find it and pick it up.
I'm like really good at finding things.
He is.
That's true.
He is.
Alright. Perfect.
We get done with this fight. I guess we're gonna go look in the forest for
Hunt
my
prey.
arrow.
My arrow.
I'll be back. Rex leaves for 2 hours. I found it.
Hunt, pray, love. Look, if someone said you could find 70 gold in the forest, you go look.
For
I
2
feel
hours,
that's
for
true.
sure. That rate, I'd
Yeah.
spend a whole day. We'd spend a couple days not hunting the red hand, and I'd amass a good amount of money for us, a full day of work.
The Cloak of Elvenkind. It's you get an invisibility spell once a day. It's 360 gold though.
Just once a day? What's the point?
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna get
Wait, you guys can't just become invisible?
3 spell strike ammunition at type 3. Okay.
See how quickly we can burn through it.
Is there any value in the lower level ones that are
Yeah.
cheaper?
I could give you addition. Honestly, I can give you as many amped imaginary weapon arrows as you. If they're cheap, then it's just like really effective arrows. Like
Well, so
48
level
gold.
2s are 30 gold, level 1s are 12 gold a pop.
So it's 48 extra damage for level 2 with 2d8 for
What?
level 1.
2d8. 2d8 extra damage arrow for 12 gold.
Pretty good.
It's like doubling your dice that you're
Yeah.
using. There's no like saving throw; it just does the damage.
I'm in for as much nukes
Alright.
as you want to put in.
Let's do
Let's
2
look-
of the expensive ones, and
Wouldn't be a
then
D&D campaign if we
a
were
handful of.
Yeah.
funneling resources towards Lenny doing damage.
I was like, all right, so I got this glaive character where like, what if we put spells in your arrows? I also do have a bow. That's fair.
How many arrows can we tie to your glaive?
Look, if I could do it to myself, I would.
I know.
I call it the
I'm not
porcupine.
saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's funny that it ended up this way.
You just picked a character that's very high damage
Just a
and
spike
has
claw,
lots
give
of
it to an
potential to do
ogre.
more damage.
Whap! 3 spells go off.
Well, how about let's stick with the.
That'd be a great
You
like,
get-
ogre shaman.
You get the 2. I mean, we can always do like you said the 2
Yeah,
level.
two of the expensive ones. We'll put one of each spell thing
Okay.
in it. So you've got a couple nuke spots, and then a small bundle of like the first level ones, that you just, if you're gonna fire off a whole volley, your first arrow is a good arrow, and your other two are the cheaper ones.
Or like even if we're just against like a any sort of boss-ish monster, like your whole game plan can be your first attack is one of the magic arrows, and your second attacks is like plain.
Yep. Exactly.
5 of the level 1 ones is only 60 gold.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I'm in for this.
Yeah, it's good. It's like we just added, striking +2.
They just give me smites on my arrows. Is what
You
you added.
Smite intensifies.
I added smites on the arrows now.
She probably doesn't have like infinite of these arrows, just to be clear. So
She probably does.
She probably does. I mean, she's been waiting for this moment.
trying to get rid of this
You
backlog.
should get at least 6 of them, a half dozen for sure. How much weight do we have left?
Well, see, that was what, before we started going arrow crazy, I was going to be like, well, maybe we should see if everybody wants to buy stuff, and then we can fill in, like, we could spend more on arrows indefinitely. If we have items that people want,
Alright,
we
does
can
anyone
get
want the
arrows.
healing gloves? +1 to medicine checks, and you get heal once a day.
I need a healer's
Yeah.
kit.
Oh, the healer's kit.
Anyone can use the healer gloves by the looks of it. I don't see anything that
How much
says
are those?
80 gold. You get an adjacent, restore 2d6 +7 to an adjacent creature
Seems pretty good.
for 1 action.
Probably good for
Once a
someone
day.
that's not me.
I'm really fast and love things that are 1 action. Also, coincidentally, that is a spell.
I don't know that it's a spell. It just says you can soothe the wounds.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I don't
like
think it's a
casting.
spell.
I mean, it's
But-
probably one of these two, because I have battle medicine, which, sure, an extra +1's nice, but, like, I already have a way to heal.
Mhm.
He has a way to heal. Redrick has lay on hands
Lay on
as a
hands.
way to heal. You, well, I guess it should be you, because you have the staff of healing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm just a fast boy. Yeah, I'll
There
take
you go.
those gloves. Yeah.
Okay, 80 gold.
Nice. I actually really like that now everyone has something.
Yep.
Healer's gloves is what they're called, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
80, 1 quantity, bought.
Healer's gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The base level ones
I think it's
are
4.
4. My quiver just got a whole lot more fancy.
Yeah.
You're that Marvel guy now.
True. Arrow dude.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Iron Man. Did you determine how many of these arrows she had before we went hog wild?
Yes, she had 10 of the level 1s, 6 of the level 2s, and 3 of the level 3s.
We could trade her for the stock of them for the phylactery.
I think we could trade her for the stock of everything she owns in the phylactery.
Is there a place to see how many things I have invested? I know I'm not near the limit, but oh wait, never
I
mind.
think it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's just these. Okay. All right.
Assuming it's
I now have 5. Shadow Steel isn't. Is that an invested thing for me as well? Because I don't really have a way to mark that in here, but just. If
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay. 6. 6 things.
Hey, that's not bad. You're already well past 5e.
Yeah.
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 I could always retire or uninvest for my cloak of feline rest if I really need to. It has been useful exactly 0 times. But I just know that I'm a little more comfortable when we sleep outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know in the back of your head. Anything else you guys want to do while you wait for the sun to set?
Well, I've got her transferring my 1 rune.
Okay.
I'm assuming that Redrick can put on that full plate
Yes,
and
you can.
get the benefits of it.
He will.
And then I guess
Resilient
it's a
full
question
plate?
of
+1 resilient full plate.
approximately how many hours will we have
For what?
before we meet with them at dusk. It's a question of whether we put Redrick to work on moving the wounding over to my bow or not.
Oh, I think you'll. I mean, between when you break from the council and when you have to come back, it's going to be like maybe 6 hours.
Okay, so I
Total.
can almost be done with it.
He could at least get a start on it. Yeah.
Redrick would probably, we won't today, but he'll probably sell his current +1 full plate.
Nope. He will transfer his +1 to Davian's
Oh,
armor.
that's right.
+1 for me. I'm gonna put 345 gold in the new column, and then I'm gonna move the 11 gemstones, the lion statue, the bracelet, and the energy potion of acid lesser, all to sold.
Yeah.
I feel like that feels safe.
Energy potion. Oh, the breath.
Yeah, that last potion we.
Acid breath. Does anybody want to be able to use acid breath before we determine selling that? Because that's 4D.
Is there a saving? What's the saving throw for it? I think that's
Reflex. That's 4d8 acid.
No, what's like the
It's a
The
line.
23.
DC 23?
Line reflex. DC 23.
I think that
Four.
becomes.
4d6 damage.
Yeah, I think it just becomes less useful the farther in this adventure we are. So I'm fine selling that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because of the save. I'm a little scarred from crit save or whatever from an Etten or something on Inner Radiance Torrent. So
Like I'm down for selling it. 35 GP. That's
Yeah.
That's a
I think we do
spell
that.
strike ammunition.
Alright. And then I will add. I can do math.
Pretty sure.
Nice clean
How
800.
much do we have? Because I'm eyeing this Cloak of Elvenkind, but it's a lot of money.
How much is the Cloak of
It's
Elven?
300.
So should we get rid of the items to buy that predate the gate attenuator from that column?
Yeah.
That stuff's already been all
Well,
purchased, I think.
Yeah, it's all.
So right now, the way it subtracts, leave it for now, we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, the spreadsheet is.
The spreadsheet doesn't update it as you mark it bought. It totals up the bought stuff over on the left side. And so if you remove it, it doesn't like deduct it from then our total goes back up.
It's confusing. I don't know what the intent was, and we don't have the mastermind to give us intent.
Right.
So we'll just leave it for now.
Yeah.
We should probably clear. Well, we'll just ignore our other assets.
I mean, we're marking it
Since
all
we
as
liquidated.
What?
bought.
No, other assets comes from the other page.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you-
okay. Now it is defunct, yes. Now we trust the specific things in
Yeah.
the sell value column.
Yay, spreadsheet. Where's our mastermind? This feels like
Here.
loading. This feels like loading the dishwasher, where it's like one person started doing it, and then another person who has another equally valid way to do it, but different than the first person starts doing it, and then it's just like, what's happening here? Why are there's too many people loading this dishwasher?
During the 6 hours, I'll do harrowing ritual for anyone who wants it, because I think everyone but Tor used. Now there's enthusiasm. I love it. Now Tor, I think Tor still has his uses, but everybody else used theirs,
I would take
including
it,
me.
of course.
So I guess the other question is, how many cards do you want? Because you can get 2 cards.
Oh man, I'm the
Or-
freaking king of games. Hit me up with
I mean,
2.
you could literally get
cards.
4.
Pot of greed.
You can get 4, but I like 2. So
What's
but the
the
thing is,
downside?
the downside is the DC is higher. I'm very likely to pass, but I'm not very likely to crit pass. Which is, you get when I crit pass, it's +4 to
Two.
reroll. I think 2 is
I'm a 2.
it's a DC 18. And I have plus 18 to occultism. So.
Also, it probably makes more sense for Redrick to start working on the +1 transfer for Davian's armor, and then for me to pay Suriel tomorrow to do the transfer of my bow, like first thing in the morning, potentially.
Okay.
Assuming that we're here for another day, which since we have to go into the library is likely.
Yeah. I'll do it for myself first then. Crit success, just barely, 28. That's the first card. Regular success. So, hero point. I can do that actually. I can't crit fail, so maybe I should do a hero point.
What was the Shopkeep's name?
What else am
A Suriel.
Alright, hero point.
Surreal?
Alright,
Yeah.
2 crits.
Dang.
A-S-U-R-I-E.
I mean, I'm being like super conservative and not casting it as high as I could. I could get 4 of them if I wanted, but it's like I really want to crit on these because it's just so good and it's a renewable resource. Yes, books. That's a really good one. That's skill checks. 1. If we get a 1 here, this is
Book nerd.
2. Okay, reflex saves. So reflex save and
Fireball resistance.
exactly. So it's anytime you crit one of these, which I'm setting it. I've set myself up so it's very likely that I do. I use my hero point as well.
Are you able to give everyone the readings?
Yes, everyone who doesn't have one active.
You have one act.
You have one active, sadly.
Yeah, I just have to die.
You just have to use it. I mean, I could.
I guess
Okay, Zach, if you'll allow this.
He would like to kill Caleb.
No. So he just needs to use it, and I can redo it. He needs to use his card, and then I can give him a new card, right?
Okay.
So his card is succeed on was it a flat check?
Inflict persistent bleed.
No, I can cast.
We have a weapon.
I can cast invisibility
I hit you with the
on
wounding
myself,
rapier.
and
I
he
trust you.
can try to throw an attack at me, and he needs to make a flat check. So he can use that card on that flat check to target me because I'm invisible. Because you need to succeed on a flat check. I wanted to ask you
We
this.
have a
'cause
way
it's-
to burn the card.
Yeah, that's the only. I just
It's fine.
I'll throw it out there.
I think rules as written, yes,
I can.
that does make
Yes.
sense, but I think it is against the spirit
It's
of
gamey.
of
So I'll
the
let you leave
ability.
Yeah, so I think instead I should hit him with the wounding rapier, and he can make a flat check
Yeah.
against the persistent
You can
bleed.
stab him and he'll.
So I would allow that. I think it's real messy, but I would allow it
Alright.
because to me it feels
I like
like
to imagine we're still in the shop for it.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, he's got to do a reading.
He's just spraying blood everywhere.
It's alright, I made sure to do it with non-lethal strike.
It's okay, I just invested in these.
No, wait! Give me 6 seconds! I can will it to stop!
Okay, so
Oh man.
Well, we have to see if he bleeds. If we're doing this, we're doing this. He's got to see if
Okay.
he bleeds to death or not. Do you want the new 2 cards?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
next I'll do it for whoever would be available next.
This is a 2nd level spell. It stops bleeding.
I mean,
guys
sure.
Cast it and it lets you
Okay.
I don't
for
think it
duration
matters.
stop bleeding on people.
Oh really?
Yeah. I was working on my backup
Regular
character.
success.
Reggie success.
And
In case things go
First
really
copy.
south, huh?
yeah.
My
Very,
character doesn't
very
do
much a
enough
crit.
To,
So,
warrant it being
regular
attacked, and
success
so
is?
I don't know that I'll need a backup character.
Is this
Uh,
my boy Will?
And you
no,
also have escape
this is
ability. What are you doing?
fortitude.
I'm invisible forever.
42.
I'm
So
good
fort
at
save.
combat, but
You have a
for-
reroll on
combat,
fort
would,
save,
like, be like
and you have a crit on a reflex
better
save.
strength, then like a little bit of dex is like the way to do it.
All right. So then, Devian, you're next. regular success, I think.
What was the number?
20. Yeah, that's a regular success. Oh, you got a really good one. You got a
Nice.
attack roll, reroll.
Okay,
So that's- So you have a free reroll on an attack.
That gets a plus
so
4.
good for me.
Oh,
Crit.
nat 20.
Ooh. Not messing
Fortitude
around.
Save. So you have a fortitude save, reroll, crit. So it's plus 4 reroll to a fortitude save. Redrick, crit.
Nice. It's an Uno.
So that's a fail. Luckily, not a crit fail. Cause that
You have a
would
high
really-
enough bonus that it.
I have a high enough bonus that because there's a crit fail, I can't do it for a month. So.
Oh, really?
Oh,
So
man.
I before I was saving hero points.
This is the
literally.
last time you've done this for this campaign.
Yeah, yeah. So
Seriously, that's brutal.
yeah. So that's why literally when I did this before, I had that. I was saving hero points in order to do this. But
It makes sense.
So his crit is fort, and the other one is
The failure.
attack roll. And so he still gets to re-roll. It's just you re-roll at a -4 instead of a +4.
Oh, so you still get the card. It's
Correct.
just a failure card.
Much less likely for you to actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's really
It's a
in that
desperation
yes.
reroll.
Still, kind of cool that it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
if you won it,
Yeah.
it's still like you'll still take a -4 on the next roll rather than the
Yeah.
natural one.
So I'll remind him when he's here. Hammer. He has a hammers -4, and he has shields. I'm like the only one that means anything to is me here. Shields +4. So yeah, that's everybody. And I guess just to describe, what actually happens is I don't know if you guys are around for the other people's readings, but like if you are around, you notice that you see the same sort of runic symbols as these readings are given. But then sort of another weird thing that happens is you just see shapes of lions that are like swirling around. Like I guess they're like, we'll say like aurora colored. They're like weird blues and greens. They're swirling around in the aura, and it's weird if you see it more than once because it looks exactly the same each time it happens for everyone's prediction.
So, why are there? I feel like I'm the only one that's curious about why there are lions that pop up when you do this.
Zach, I'm gonna send you a proposal.
Something.
Uh-oh.
Something tells me there's not many lions in the frozen north. So,
There's 3.
there's 3.
3 of them.
I would count that as not many for an entire region.
I mean, they're really big.
Sure,
So,
but 3.
yeah.
You want me to roll it or do you want
I'll let you roll it.
Okay.
I think it's more appropriate.
Oh, that's a 30. 30, yeah. Because it's fortune telling lore.
30.
Yeah, I thought it was occultism. Occultism would have been 35. That's why.
It's a 30-30. That's like 9.
This is the first time I got to make a fortune telling lore check. I live for cryptic messages in fantasy. It's like one of my favorite tropes.
Rex is just sitting here killing time, and he's just like,
You just see him like
why,
playing
why are
around.
there just lions?
And I think for most of you, you've probably never even seen a lion. You may have heard of them, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I know,
it
like-
is kind of an.
Excuse me, one of the heads, I think,
Oh, was it? It was a dragon, goat.
There's
The only thing is,
Lion?
lion.
Was it a lion?
Yeah, I think
So the reason I
But
think
also there's a manticore, which probably had a lioness-ish.
Oh yeah,
thing.
maybe.
it's like the Lions of Brindle make me think that people know
What a
potentially
lion-
what a lion looks like, because otherwise it'd be kind of silly for them to name themselves that. If they're like, they'd be like me naming myself the Wish Cache of Highland Heights, and nobody would know have any idea what that meant unless.
Bro just doxed himself.
Oh man, now we know where he lives.
Oh no. I just picked the most random Pokemon I could think of.
It worked. I didn't know
Yeah,
it was
I
a
know.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's exactly the effect I was going for.
Like, what is he talking about?
You see him sort of frown as he looks at them for like the fourth or fifth time, and he's sort of shaking his head. It's not a good omen. I don't think this can't be the Lions of Brindle. They're too vicious, too frenzied. The lions are known for their discipline, stoicism. I think this is more likely a portent of a threat or enemy than it is a friend.
Oh, well. Maybe it's telling us that our enemies are hunting us now.
Well, I'll think more on it.
Alright, I'll leave that to you.
So after the readings are done, is there anything else you guys want to do before the sun sets?
Just Redrick begins on his armor transfer.
I fill up his arrows of Spelt Strike, so I need to refocus after 3, because I have 3 focus points. So I go boom, 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 fill up all of his arrows, rest for refocus for 10 minutes, boom, 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 fill up the other 6 arrows, or the other 3 arrows. So during that time period, I will.
Okay, so all my level 1s.
All of they're all now arrows of imaginary weapon, Spell Strike.
I can't get you till tomorrow.
I think we'll make it.
I think so too.
I hope. Oh man. Where do I keep this note?
Man, I can't wait to get crit and then wooden double something. It'd be so great. Oh, you crit me? Interesting. Look at me not take the first 25 damage you would hit me with.
So what is it? How much
One.
it's doing imaginary weapon? Which would be-
It's
like
since
the
they're
one
level
from
1,
Naruto.
you add 2d8. And it's your choice of bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, magical.
It's pretty brutal if the arrow comes in. It's magical of those. One of those.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes in with a piercing shot and then just slashes.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
It just turns into it just like scythes out. I imagine. Oof. Imagine getting hit by that.
Yeah, probably not very fun.
You should buy one more second level. It's just so good. It's just so incredible. Actually, incredible.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Especially for me, who is this is just like my unlimited resource that I can just keep spitting
Yeah.
out.
Okay, I think that covers stuff. Unless there was something else that people are gonna buy.
How much money do we have left? Is it 1200?
Did Tor want to buy anything other than the attenuator?
Not that I know of. No.
I want the Cloak of Elvenkind, but we already have 2 people who can go invisible, so I think probably not. Actually, now I can go invisible too. I have the spell. Alright. I'll pass on it then.
To the
I
meeting?
would take it on principle, but also I should cast the spell too. Although I did just lose access to most of my second level spells by gaining access to fourth level spells. So
We,
I wouldn't hate it.
we're all in line for resiliency runes next to buy. Does she have any of those?
Yeah, just get good roll.
I
The armor
don't
resiliency.
think so. Let me double check.
Yeah, because we would have saved up some money for.
No, she doesn't.
+2s. That's what
Yeah.
I save up money for.
So,
So it's like one of two people
No,
who
no, no.
benefits from
More
+2s.
striking, plus 2 striking.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's it for me then.
Instead of what's
Unless she,
resilient.
I know, unless she has
Oh,
any
yeah.
more consumables like potions.
Yeah, +2 striking for
She doesn't carry any potions.
Anybody here carry potions?
Apart from... Oh, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. She has invisibility and water-breathing potions.
How much is invisibility?
20.
I'll take another one of those. I already have
I
one.
don't know that it would have helped us.
It wouldn't have given us a swim speed.
That's what
Alright, I'm getting another potion of invisibility then.
Does she have 2 of
That's
those?
the cheap elven kind.
Yeah, she does.
I will also get a potion of invisibility.
I will rely on my ability to sneak.
I'll rely on my ability to become invisible.
I don't have that ability.
That's the budget.
But you can sneak
Okay.
really good.
Yeah, true.
Alright.
Some places even better than others.
The potion of water breathing, is that a level 1 spell? Or a level
No, I
1?
don't think so. I think it's level 2 or 3. Level 3.
Okay, so it'd be 60 gold. I think.
No, the potion's only 11 gold pieces.
Oh. I mean, I'll take it. It's like if
Wait,
we
which
can
one?
potion of water breathing. I mean,
I
The
can
likelihood
cast
that
now,
it's-
too. That was like, oh man, you would have been super useful yesterday. This
Yeah.
thing that I can now do.
Gotta love that about leveling up, yeah.
Live and learn.
okay, we're good
Live,
then.
laugh,
Okay.
Breathe water.
Underwater. 'Cause you-
So, what do you guys do? You guys go back to the council?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Redrick slaves away at.
Well, he'll come back with us. You're gonna pause. You do not have your armor on if it ends up mattering.
Fair enough.
You...
You know what that changes for my AC? Nothing.
Oh, that's true.
I had a feeling that might be the case.
Oh, 'cause you're
I look slightly less cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a tough one.
Taking a little hit here, but
You find the elves much as you left them.
dead.
They don't split hairs. Celeria says, we've come to the conclusion that it was unlikely that we would have accomplished what you've been able to accomplish by ourselves, at least with not without casualties. As a result, we have decided to send a contingent of our Tirikito warriors to ensure that nothing has returned to Lake Rest, and that there is no great likelihood that anything will build a new encampment there to challenge our control of these swamps. Upon doing that, our contingent will continue to Brindle, where we shall provide our services in defense of the city in whichever way we are directed, either to its fall or to the fall of the Red Hand. We hope to see you there, unless perhaps you can solve this before this army ever reaches the walls.
Davian wants that.
we-
Kevin would be disappointed.
We have clearly underestimated you in the past. We will not do so again. As for your continued search of this Ghost Lord, Well, our cleric will help you in any way that he can in research. And if you need anything else of us in the meantime, do not hesitate to ask. You, of course, can stay here as long as you wish. You are always welcome, and always will be welcome here in Starsong Hill.
Well, I think a couple of them are gonna need that time for that research, but when our time comes to leave, if we could similarly have a way out like you brought us in through flight, that would definitely help in terms of expediting our progress on our mission.
We will not ask you to slog through our bogs. We can take you certainly to the road at least.
Much appreciate that.
Kilior will facilitate. You need only ask him, and he will have the owls ready. Is there anything else we can provide?
No, you've done us a great favor, and the realm here a great favor by sending your forces to Brindle. Need to stick together at times like this.
I think perhaps you are right. I do not relish the idea of a horde of hobgoblins and dragons eventually finding their way to our doorstep.
Rex will look around the place. When all this is done, can I come back here?
Of course.
Awesome.
Provided there's still a place to come back to, you will always be welcome.
Oh, there'll be a place to come back to.
We'll make sure there is.
I feel like I'm really missing out on an opportunity to go on a hunt while riding one of these giant owls, and I could see quite a entertaining competition between myself and Kiliar on trying to fell some prey.
He kind of grins and says, it is every bit as awesome as it looks.
This guy's great.
Under his breath, fucking knew it.
With that, Celeria sort of guides you out, and pretty much, immediately, Ilian will take you to take you and whoever else wants to go with him to the chapel, where he'll not only sort of show you his collection of books and tomes and scrolls, but also begin preparing for helping you out in the morning with this, whatever issue this might be.
Be great.
I go for drinks with whoever wants to join me.
I'll go read books.
Good man, Tor.
I drink alone.
No, you don't. I think you probably find plenty
Probably
not.
drink with Frederick.
plenty of
Frederick's working on
I think you're like a local celebrity right now, probably. Especially after your regaling.
if you can put up with the younger elves,
Oh, yeah.
there are definitely some that would be happy to do their fair share of storytelling to you as well.
Just think about Torin. Just in his glory in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What a legend. What a legend.
All right, so if you'd like, you can use. I mean, it's dusk, so it's the end of the day. You can certainly use the evening to research if you want. You don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing puts you to sleep like we do.
That's
Alright.
true.
Well, in that case, I would say you probably want to use religion for this check, but also I think if you want, society could glean you information. Maybe even nature, although the DCs will be more difficult.
So society will be more difficult than religion.
Yes.
Okay. Any idea how much more difficult?
not significantly, not to the point where it's to the point where your bonuses is still more important probably than the.
Okay, there's a +4 difference between the two. It's not huge,
Uh,
but it's.
I'll let you decide
Yeah, I was
how
gonna
you
say,
want to go there.
I'll go with religion. I can't tell what that number is. Give me a 14. Oh wait, yeah, it's gonna be a 14. I rolled a 4.
I will also.
Oh, nice.
You said it's
Thank God I have 20.
like pretty significantly more difficult for society.
That's a little more difficult.
Very difficult.
I don't have a huge difference between them. I'll go religion. I'll hero point.
Yes. A lot better the second time.
Let's
A
go.
1 to a 15.
Hero points actually
Ooh.
doing good today.
Yeah, I know.
I used my hero point on a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
24.
24.
Isn't it
Okay.
a skill check?
Yeah.
I have the 2
wasn't
hero
gonna use
points,
this.
and I'm like,
I'll
I don't
check
know
on
what
that
else I'm
when he
going to
also
use it
That's
on.
fair.
Seeing that one just
Could use
immediately.
it.
I will
Hero
join
point.
the religion gang.
All right.
I'm greeting that.
Nice roll.
Nice. 23.
Oh,
Nice.
nice, bros. All right.
Way better than
Davian and Tor, you do make a little bit of progress. In that, you find some old texts that you, along with Ilian, believe may have influenced the stories of the Ghost Lord. It's not a completely clean-cut thing. However, you do find references to an actual druid, a human druid named Urikel Zarl.
Urakel.
Urikel.
ZARL or EL?
Zarl.
Zarl.
He lived several hundred years ago.
Checks out.
And this is where things get confusing because the accounts differ wildly depending on when things were written and who they're written by. You see references that this Zarl was a druid that was a great lover of nature, a protector of all things wild and natural, of both creatures and the forest and the natural world. You see stories that Zarl was a cultist, like a cult leader. You see stories that Zarl was almost like a Robin Hood-like figure that protected the locals, the natives, and drove out colonizers. You see stories that Zarl's group were cannibals that actually took advantage of local tribes and subjugated them. One thing that does seem to be consistent, at least throughout all of these really wild stories, is that he was at odds with Restalorian lords, and at some point or other.
I'm gonna go ahead and say he was a lich. That I'm putting my money on cult leader or cannibal over Robin Hood or great lover of the wild.
Or que no los dos.
It could be.
You could have a cult of nature-loving individuals who maybe eat each other because they think it's okay. Because, like, if you're wild enough, you know, we're all just animals, we're all just meat, right? Why not snack on your buddy?
Any indication of like where we could find him or where he was generally located?
Didn't your
Ghost lore.
didn't your lore check? I feel like I remember something that like he was turned into a lich against his will or something in your. Am I completely making that up, or does that sound familiar?
He said, "What was dead did not stay dead. He rose and felled kingdoms, but now wishes only peace and rest." So it could be, again, it's like a memory, or it's like me pulling memories from the ether, more or less. So it's not necessarily.
There were some stories though that line up similarly in that the idea that he was struck down by these Restalorian lords and then came back to life.
Yeah.
So he sang Gold Rest, right?
I mean, that's
It's
my
possible.
guess. That's kind of my assumption.
Let me rephrase that. So he sang Gold Rest, right?
Could be. There's a lot of conflicting information here.
Yes, I just read it.
Alien seems floored by all of this, that you guys were able to make these connections, and says, I think if you trust these stories that we were told, we should probably, or you should probably go speak to Celeria in the morning. There's a chance she knows this person. She's certainly old enough.
Jesus.
I mean, it's a bit of a long shot, but if he was as destructive and influential as these stories imply, yes, I think Celeria might know who it is.
Actually, just used to be in this cult. She was an Urkel groupie back in the day.
You're all welcome back here anytime for dinner.
Oh, you wanted to have me for dinner.
I get it now.
Oh, your friend that swims down below in circles is him, isn't it? Its name is Zarl, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I guess in the absence of any more clues, I probably just go to bed after that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you have a very comfortable night's rest. Knowing not only that there is no impending immediate danger to Starsong Hill, but also just not having to sleep out in the wilderness. It is a very, very comfortable rest. You, bless you, wake, and the day is yours to do with as you wish. Obviously, you have a few irons in the fire here, right? You have some runes being transferred and all that, but it's up to you what you want to do. Day 18.
I'll go to the priest and see if he's finished his preparations.
Yes, he has. He will begin examining you and trying to get a feel for what on earth has happened. He begins by casting several just straight healing spells, like trying to get a feel for if anything changes. So these you recognize, him casting heal. He casts a spell that you probably recognize that allows you to communicate almost like mind meld in an effort to try to get a feel for what you're feeling. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help him necessarily, because even you don't really understand what's going on. definitely is using detect magic. He's he is basically pulling out as many tricks as possible. At the end of his maybe hour of analysis, he sighs and he tells you, "It is my opinion that you have been cursed by a powerful magic. I was not aware the hobgoblins were capable of such things."
This one seemed particularly unhinged and skilled.
I apologize, but I'm sorry to say I have not the ability to remove curses. However, it's possible. I've never had this conversation with Celeria before, but it's possible she may. Otherwise, the only thing I can suggest is that you perhaps try to find someone in Brindle to help you. Or to the east, there are many, many powerful clerics in Denevar. I have no doubt that they will be able to solve this issue in no time whatsoever. I apologize, my powers are not strong enough.
No need to apologize. I'll see if Celeria can be of any help. Appreciate your at least figuring out what the problem has been.
You may also talk to Trilara. I know she has grown much more powerful in her in these recent years, but yes, to remove a curse is a challenging thing.
Well, I'll go ahead to Solaria. So we're going to see her anyways. And I don't know if who's coming with me, but I would go to ask her about if she can help with removing the curse, but also ask if she knows this Urakel Zarl.
I would come along for
Yep,
that.
same.
Did I do that?
What's that?
She looks at she looks at you as if you've said something she's not heard in a long, long time. And she says, luckily for me, I never met the man, but I know the name. In some ways, you could say he's the reason we're here right now. The reason that our tribe sits here in the bog and not the city of Restalor is because he helped destroy it. Why do you want to know about Zarl?
We suspect that Zarl is the Ghost Lord, and we need to find him.
Well, that is unfortunate. I would not wish that fate on anyone. I mean, at least everything I heard about him in my lifetime has not been pleasant.
Cannibalism, cult leader.
Certainly there were rumors. I know not of what is absolutely true. I know he was incredibly cruel and powerful and did not hesitate to crush many of the Restalorian lords. But I also was under the impression he did not survive that conflict either. He, in life, his druid grove was in what is now the Thorn Waste.
Does that ring a bell to me?
It should. It's like the very southwesternmost corner of the Vale. It's not a place people go. It's
Sense for a lich.
it was once a forest. In my lifetime, I remember seeing the trees of that forest, but it was razed, much as the city that you just returned from was sunk. The thorn waste was razed to the ground. But if he still lives, I have no doubt that it is there somewhere. I can't imagine
Where did you say the Thorn West was?
the very southwesternmost part of the map of the Vale.
Okay, southwest of Drellin's Ferry. Even.
Oops. So it's here.
Across the river or prior to the river?
It is south of the river.
Mm-hmm.
So if below this map
Yep.
there are mountains,
Yep.
and then see where that path goes off southwest, that would lead to the Thorn Waste.
Okay.
And Celeria would explain this to you.
So we need to pass by the Red Hand's army to get there at this point.
Well, I would suggest you travel. If you truly want to go there, I would suggest you travel south into the plains and forests south of Brindle, and then skirt the mountains to the Thorn Waste. Although there may be good intel to gather if you stay further north. I don't know how far this army has traveled. Perhaps it would be helpful for you to know. Although, if they have scouts on dragons and manticores, perhaps that is an unwise thing to do. I don't know.
And a grudge.
Urgel, he was cruel and towards Restalorian lords. Why was this?
The lords were not fond of his treatment of their citizens. He exploited all of the reach to the south. He was well known for his cruelty and his subjugation of the people there.
Did they burn his grove?
The lords did.
Tracks why he sank their city.
Do you know why he subjugated the citizens?
Well, the stories the elders of my grove used to tell were that he had fashioned some magics to extract the life of others, to grow him and his cult, to power his magics.
That checks out.
I take the idea of a druid lich. This is dope.
We saw some legends tell of him as a protector of the wilds. Some sing him almost like a hero. Do you know of these?
It doesn't surprise me. You should know the Restalorian lords were not universally loved either. They were politically savvy, and while they didn't feed on the life force of their denizens, at least not in a literal sense, they did take advantage of them, and they gained much wealth and power from their service. So perhaps to some, anyone willing to face the lords was a creature of good.
Seems a bit far to stretch the definition of good, in my opinion.
Time changes much. Perspectives shift, and the truth becomes muddied.
I thought of anyone you might be able to recognize the singing heroism for anyone who might stand against financial oppression, political oppression.
Might be. You make a good point, but doesn't mean I close my eyes to the facts, Tor. Can't let old grudges blind new truths.
But you can see how, give it 100 years,
We might be singing the same thing.
So I guess one of your cities gonna just get encased in ice.
it takes too long. Most of them are.
He doesn't have much work to do up there.
Well, the Thorn Waste is no short trip, regardless of how you travel. Even if you take the shortest path, it's 150 miles from here.
We sail the river.
We don't need faster right
We can destroy that road.
It's true. There's only one thing that needs to happen tomorrow, and it does not involve this druid lich.
I think it's the fastest way anyways if we're going to go along the Dawn Way, which we probably should. I think we'd have plenty of I think we would have plenty of advance warning, like just based on the flow of like refugees and people is my guess, before we're running headlong into the horde. So I think we go along the Dawn Way as far as we can. And then I mean we have like we have an incredible scout here too. Like we might as well use that fact to our advantage to get as far as we can along the Dawn Way before we detour off of it into the Thorn Waste or into whatever is down here. So I think
We didn't talk about if we wanted to tell the elves about the phylactery.
No. Let's say we had that conversation in the evening.
We had that conversation in the evening.
Well,
What was the outcome of it?
What would we have said? I feel like we should tell the elves about the phylactery.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
I don't see what it could hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it could be a critical juncture, you know, like, as opposed to flying eagles and dropping a dangerous item
How many
to
people
the
are-
top of a volcano.
How many people are in the
We'll have to
room
walk
with us
all the
for
way
these
there instead
conversations?
of flying.
Is it just like the 2 leaders and the priest, and like?
Well, right now it's just Celeria.
Solaria. I mean that's a lot better if
Yeah.
it's just her.
It's just Celeria.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can tell just Celeria, and then obviously the less people that know this, the better.
Right.
She's actually the lich.
Perfect.
Good
One
disguise.
versus
Insight
all of us.
check.
Perfect.
But yeah, that's.
Oh, that's right. Today I'm a master of perception. I'm so good at it.
But yeah,
It was such a good
You
sleep.
can actually see
It was
results.
such a good sleep.
yeah, we can tell her why we're looking for him and
Yeah.
like
Sure, the letter.
ensure the letter and basically tell her our conclusion that they were blackmailing him with this phylactery, and he's probably got some spooky army.
Something I would be concerned about is they tell him, hey, we have your phylactery, come work for us. He goes, well, I guess I'm going to. That's the imagined original conversation. Now they go, hey, we lost his phylactery. We just don't tell him that, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Still lost? Awesome.
As
That
we
is the
deliver this
risk of
information,
habit.
we'll sort of lead off with it. We apologize for holding this information back, but as I'm sure you can imagine, we thought it best to keep the circle of individuals who knew about this very small. And then hand over the note.
Yep.
You've got the stuff. I don't read Goblin.
Who is Ulwai?
One of the goblin generals.
Well, we assume they're a goblin.
One of the
Red Hand generals.
Hand generals.
Yeah.
There are 4 that we know of. 1 we have slain. Another fled from us, and the 3rd wrote this note.
Do you have any reason to believe any of this is true?
Yes.
I frankly find it challenging.
We do.
If we-
And then, I just
Like-
also look at Runar at this
But
point.
I am in possession of the phylactery.
You're supposed
It's
to pull it
okay.
out to be like,
And I'll-
look at this great.
I will pull it out, like, or I'll open the box like very gingerly.
You can't just go pulling out your phylactery in the ladies' company.
Yeah, exactly.
Just whipping out his box in public. This.
Celeria approaches
Mhm.
and begins to manipulate the air in a way that you recognize as detect magic or
Yeah.
something similar. She examines it closely, but you can tell she's very hesitant to touch it.
Yeah.
And after a moment, she waves it away. She says,
Mhm.
Shut that.
I shut it.
Please put it away. She sits down and says, oh my.
Yep.
It is much worse than I had expected. What power these hobgoblins must hold to have obtained this. I fear not only the power of Zarl, but of whoever has tricked him into this.
Whoever this Azarkul is.
Yes, I had no doubt already, but now I wish I had more warriors to send to Brindle for you. I fear you may need as many allies as you can muster.
I mean, we got some dwarves.
We hope we have some dwarves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, you can do the mirror image.
That's true.
That's it.
At least 3 extra dwarves that way.
So, if I understand, you wish to bargain with this lich. Is that
Yes.
correct?
I'm not convinced that
I look over at
treating
Runar.
with him is the right move.
Well-
I think that
It
we
could be just as useful to just bribe him to our side on the day of the battle. Why bother finding him now?
he might not be there.
Yeah.
That sounds like a win for us anyways.
He
Yeah.
might send his minions instead. In which case we have accomplished nothing by holding his phylactery. And it might be too late to convince him if he is there.
Creatures like this man do not get to be their age by taking risks or acting foolishly.
Like charging into a battle.
I do not believe you will see the Ghost Lord at Brindle when these armies attack. However, I do think it well within his power should he be this lich that owns that device, to send his own armies of creatures of bone and flesh and perhaps even darker things, shades, revenants, shadows, ghosts. I think whatever you do will be foolish.
Our options are rather limited at this point.
I mean, what if we just, find
Take your head off.
where he's at, and like just throw his phylactery at him and just hope that he decides to attack the Red Hand once he's equipped with his soul container.
The only reason he's allied with them right now is because he thinks they hold his phylactery. If we remove that reason, I doubt he'll be feeling particularly generous to those who stole his
True.
artifact and blackmailed him with it. Being that powerful has to have an ego to match, I imagine. And
I just don't want to die while giving it back to him.
Well,
I mean, we could send a bird. I'm kidding.
Squaw.
if you attempt to find him, I have no doubt you will inevitably encounter his forces of undeath. You should prepare in that regard. If you do manage to reach him, whatever you do, do not challenge him. I have seen your efficacy clearly, but this is not a creature you want to try to defeat.
he has leveled
The
an entire
DM
kingdom.
through the NPC says, "Don't fight the Ghost Lord. You will die. Don't fight the Ghost Lord."
Yeah, but like, what if we roll
Really
All
good.
right, how many more of those arrows do they have? Just say.
We steal the rest. Wait for them to make more, steal those.
I do not fear his power alone, but understand he is within his own stronghold that you approach. His preparation for any eventuality must be astounding. If you were to bring him here, I would say crush that phylactery and let us grind him into a pulp, all of us together. That I do not believe will be possible, perhaps ever.
What if we crush it now? Then he'll know that he doesn't have it anymore. I assume there's some kind of connection where he would know if the phylactery is broken.
Understand that
Let him try.
he will live. He will continue to live.
Yeah,
Your destruction of that device will not kill him.
sure.
In time, he will recraft another one. And in his endless age, he will send his agents to discover what happened to his phylactery. I have no doubt that eventually he will discover what happened. And everyone involved will be punished. These hobgoblins don't even understand what they've gotten themselves into. They mistakenly believe that they will outlive the Ghost Lord. I think not. Eventually, he will wreak vengeance on every member of this army. I have no doubt. In the short term, perhaps they will destroy all of the Vale. But to him, a blink of an eye.
Alright, so don't crush the phylactery,
Don't crush the phylactery. Don't piss off the lich.
but give
Give
him
him-
back his phylactery.
Get in his good graces.
And he might kill. Well, just get
Well,
in his.
I was gonna
less
say,
bad.
honestly, it's a win even if we just return it to him and he's like, "I won't show up and attack Brindle." have fun. Even that is a
What are the odds?
borderline unfathomable increase of our chances.
What are the odds of when we enter his domain, we
Explode.
we take out the phylactery and start waving it around and say, "Hey, we brought this. We retrieved this for you." And are bringing. Is he gonna just kill us?
Redrick is
that's
gonna
very
try and make it
difficult.
repent. He's gonna be like, "Look, we're giving
No,
you
don't you
this.
fucking dare try to make it revenge.
This
You
is your
shut
ch-
your mouth the whole
this
time
is
that we're
your
there. We're not even
chance.
gonna bring you if you do
This
that.
is your chance to make up for a
This
life
one's
of
not negotiable.
An unlife of misdeeds. Come and fight alongside us.
I love that.
I suspect Redrick will have will quite possibly draw the line at Lich.
He definitely. Chevon would definitely be like, why would I? He would be giving me a hard time for making this joke.
My worry is that you will find more than just the Ghost Lord in the Thornwaste.
Yeah.
If I were this Azar Cool, I would post some of my agents there to intercept any sort of attempt that you're making, or perhaps just to make sure that they keep an eye on the Ghost Lords coming and going.
Wouldn't be surprised to find this all white there.
That's a fair point.
Or perhaps even Azar Cool himself.
That would suck.
Well, could be
Well,
a chance to end.
Actually, that'd probably be great. Do demons leave head or devils leave heads after you kill them, or does it all like?
Probably depends. Like this thing was like a devil animal hybrid. I don't think it just magically poofed.
I'm looking for a trophy.
But like a pure demon. I feel like in 5e those like turn to ichor after they die. They like
Maybe
Berserkly or something.
Yeah.
Non-lethal damage. We can knock the devil unconscious. You can
that's-
surgically remove his head.
Good call. Keep it in a
This is
jar.
this is a quality play.
I'm gonna need a really big jar. I think.
Big jar. Put the whole thing in. But at least then you have the head.
Yeah.
Holy water, maybe.
There is something else as well.
Yes.
The delicacy.
Ilian examined me this morning and determined that I've been cursed by one of the spellcasters that the goblins employed. Is there any way you could help me with that?
I can try. I cease to be amazed by the ingenuity of these creatures. Curses, dragons, liches. They must have been planning this for years, decades. It's amazing. I can try. I cannot promise success, as it will depend largely on the strength of this curse. But yes, if you sit, I will make an attempt.
I will sit.
It will take some 20 minutes perhaps for me to prepare. You can see she like collects herbs and some spell components, and begins to cast a spell. You haven't seen this one before, but she's patient and thorough, and she casts Remove Curse on you.
Can I guidance her?
You can.
I guess guidance.
You
Starts
can.
removing the curse, and you're like, actually, if you could remove my curse over here.
Yeah.
All right, so she needs to make a counteract roll. See what her bonus is. That's not bad, although the DC on this is really high, if I remember correctly. Okay, so counteract, how does that work?
Should have done tarot reading for her.
Add the relevant skill modifier or other appropriate
Yeah,
modifier
right.
to your check against the target's DC.
She only eats sweet potatoes, though.
Spellcasting ability modifier plus the spellcasting proficiency bonus. Okay.
She's a druid, so probably want wisdom plus proficiency.
Yes.
Plus 15 for me at level 7. I don't like my chances here.
It's not terrible. It's not foolproof, unfortunately. Okay. So the DC of that effect was it was a 4th level spell. DC was 26.
Oh, I failed it by 2. I remember getting a 24 on that roll.
So
Can I vote her hero point?
she's got a plus 18 to this.
Ooh. Is that before guidance?
That's before guidance.
Okay.
Ah.
So she needs to
Is this 7 or higher?
7 or higher. Yeah, she needs a 7 or higher.
Please. 16!
There it is.
Yes!
Nice.
So you can feel her struggle as she's casting the spell, and she actually visibly begins to sweat, and she's sort of like muttering to herself about damned hobgoblins this whole time. But you feel like a physical sense of relief, almost like a burden coming off
Okay.
as she completes the spell, and she sort of like spits in the corner, and you can see like she's got sort of a satisfied grin on her face, even though she's like clearly tired, and she says, "Okay, I need to rest. Please come back later."
Something, old rest.
Could I ask you your opinion of one more item?
She
I don't think it's another phylactery.
she sits down, and then she says she like motions for you to continue.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull out the tapestry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you had that on your back.
Unfurl it. I imagine it's just sticking out of the back of my backpack.
Showed it to that guy last night.
I just say, we feel we've found that this might be of importance. We found it at Old Rest. Does it have any meaning to you?
She sort of leans over, really gets very close to it, sort of touches it with her fingertips. A finely made tapestry. Hideous, though. What is it you wanted to know?
Do you recognize the figure, the symbolism? What was it that? Who were we talking to? The magic item?
Suriel.
Asuriel.
She recommended we go to Ilion. the priest guy.
Got uber bad vibes off of it.
Yeah.
It is.
Studio mentioned some off feelings about it. Recommended we talk to Ilian, but I figured we're here. You're clearly very knowledgeable, and perhaps you would know something.
She gestures to the corners of the tapestry where you can see what looks like dark stone ceilings, caverns, where the fire is sort of licking up onto the stone. And she points to it and she says, Maleboj. This is hell. This creature, the Ashen Bull, the general of all of Hell's armies. It's Moloch.
So the figure is Moloch.
The Ashen Bull of Hell.
She sort of spits it out, like almost
Oh,
like
his title is Ashen Bull.
they call him many things.
Is that, sorry, is it like Ashen Bull Bull or is it Ashen Bull? Okay. I couldn't tell if it was like one
Yeah.
word.
Where did you find this?
It was at the keep in Old Rest. It was in what we believe was the room of Sarvith, the general that was camped out there.
That is troubling. Moloch is he's the lord of the Six. He is the one who answers the prayers of the doomed.
Lord of the Six?
The sixth layer of hell.
Oh.
How different would this campaign be if we just attacked those elves when we first saw?
Yeah. Substantially.
Well, be wary of agents of the Hells. If you see more, it may be that it is Moloch pulling the strings of this army.
We kinda knew that, right? We just kinda forgot to tell her that we knew that. How did we know that? Might be before your time, probably.
I didn't even know that it was like a hell, that there was like a hell tie-in until today.
I think the thing that you found earlier was just holy symbols of Moloch.
Yes.
Yeah, we only found holy symbols of Moloch. We didn't find the writing, if I recall correctly, the writing that in Koth's conference room didn't mention Moloch. Well, it was above them all is Azar Cool, and he might have been like Moloch's chosen.
No, led by Koth was one of Moloch's chosen. I have it in my session one.
Koth was one of Moloch's
That was,
chosen.
we
yeah.
got Moloch name drop session one.
Right. Koth was one of Moloch's chosen.
Also,
Gotcha.
I don't know if we ever found Lieutenant Kirkland.
Kirkland? I can't remember if that was.
The hobgoblin detainee that Runar interrogated. Hobgoblin warns that Lieutenant Kirkland is going to tear us apart, and that they are led by Koth, Moloch's chosen. The Red Hand will destroy you all.
I think Kirkland was one of. I think Kirkland was that big guy in
In the keep.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay, so there was Koth and Kirkland were.
Yeah.
I think so. I
Alright.
think so.
Tarklin was the what's it called? The Minotaur.
Okay.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah.
Gila, right?
It's fine. It's not like it was 6 months ago.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't feel like we've been playing for 17 sessions, but this is the 17th session.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
12 by my count.
You're not from here.
You're not from here.
Well,
They
He
count,
doesn't even go.
they count weird in the north.
Yeah.
the one benefit you have is that if this is true, you know at least some of what you will face in the future. You will face the armies of the undead and the armies of hell. And while they are
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is good.
This escalated quickly. When we started, right? Like, and obviously you're supposed to just be like, oh, there's a ton of hobgoblins. Of course. I figured it was gonna like end up just like Helm's Deep versus hobgoblins. And it would be an epic battle, and we would find ways to help ourselves. But now they got backup. Now Saruman actually showed up to the battle, and also Sauron's there, I guess. I swear to God, if there's not orcs, I'm gonna be so salty. I need enemies that will know what I'm saying when I insult them in their own language.
take
I
some
got a handle
satisfaction
for the devils.
in that an army of hell can be wiped clean just as much as an army of hobgoblins. You must only know how to fight them. Do not fear this creature, she points at Moloch, any more than you would the hobgoblin generals.
I know.
That's a pretty solid burn.
Hell ain't shit.
You
Get outta
you
here.
just listed off the Ashen Bull of Hell, the Lord of the Sixth, the one who answers prayers of the doomed. Dude's no scarier than a hobgoblin. That goes pretty hard.
But like the hobgoblin
Respect.
generals, you know?
Respect.
So a thought just occurred to me that I would maybe say later, as far as what we're thinking about next steps of what to do.
Then why are you saying it now?
This phallic factory would be a pretty decent way to convince Denevar to get involved.
Yeah, but so would the tapestry. Maybe.
One thing at a time? I don't know.
I don't know. The only issue is then we rather than going straight to the Lich to give him his phylactery, we take a wrong direction and then try to spend who knows how long deliberating with what Redrick described as very bureaucratic
We just would have to drill its favor.
religious folk. Yeah, probably worse.
Yeah. I'll thank her for sure. How far do you think your riders could take us?
We can take you out of the swamps, surely. Especially if what you wish is to investigate this border blockade, we can take you nearby.
Thank you for that.
Please, don't leave this with me. And if you do wish to leave the hill today, Kiliar knows you're preparing. He'll have owls ready. Good luck. I do hope after all of this is over, I can hear the story of how you met this lich.
Yeah, it
So-
might be for me, so the quality of storytelling, maybe I'll have him write it down.
I'm sure you and Terlaria could make a far greater song out of it than I could.
I don't know. Cyril tells me your stories are potent, and I've heard your storytelling firsthand.
I had a little help.
And with that, she begs your forgiveness, but asks that you allow her to rest, and wishes you the best of luck, and that you trust that when the time comes, the Tiri Kitor will be at your back.
We love it.
And I think with that, unless there's anything very urgent, I think that's a good place to stop for the evening.
I'm inclined to agree.
Agreed.
This was the next day.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
So
day
I
18.
also
Morning.
I load your arrow with
Ah.
a vampiric feast. spell.
All right.
So, are you giving? Sorry, are you going to put of those arrows?